2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You could turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/fan and use code FAN. That's code FAN at prizepicks.com/fan.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Perfect. Yo, it's the C3 Panthers Podcast. My name's Tony Dunn, and it's Tuesday night. Yes, we may be a couple of minutes late, and I know that's actually abnormal, but these cats in this chat room that you are in, this video conference we're in, we actually have lives. And those lives dictate that we talk about the Carolina Panthers on Tuesday night. And we chop up the latest news and opinions. I mean, we're going to go deep. We're going to go so deep. We're going to talk about a guy that was undrafted and Micah Simon from BYU. And we're going to try to put it all together and hopefully bring Zach Wilson to this franchise. I don't think it's going to happen unless Justin Fields' pro day climbed to the top. But anyway, we got that. Actually, that's probably about it. And your calls, the number's 252-228-5098. And I'm hanging out with my homeboys, Cody Lashney, my co-host, the man in the chair. And that's what I'm like, you know what? Is that messed up to say?
That's fine, dude.
The man with the hair. The man with the hair in the chair.
Sitting in the chair. I'm down with
it. He's like at a throne right there. You tell us, homie. We watched some Micah Parsons tape, and I feel like you talked me down, homie. I felt like you brought me to a regular place, and I don't usually get that when I look at these draft prospects. I want to draft every one of them, and I thank you for that. I thought it was fair. Thank you. Cody Lashney in the house.
Yeah, one of the things that you learn about watching film and breaking down prospects is that you get to kind of cut through the headlines and the speculations about what a player is and isn't, and the film tells the truth, man. I've been having fun doing it, but Tony Dunn, you already know this. There's nowhere I'd rather be on a Tuesday night than with my boys, hanging out, talking about some Panther football. We're going to have a great show tonight. We're going to be talking about, do the Carolina Panthers control their own destiny in this year's draft? Lots of rumors about what we might do, who we might pick with the 8th overall pick. But Tony Dunn, you already know what we're going to do. We're going to introduce the most lit Panther fans in all of YouTube. I'm talking about Tim Tizzy, Blake Bettis, Joey the Blind, Panther Esquivel, Brad Holt, Tar Heel Iyer, Chef Jeff, my cousin, what's going
Oh
on,
my
man?
goodness! Welcome back.
Blake Bettis, Trill 1, Jared Feinberg 16. Even my mama,
Ooh,
you know what,
stars.
even my lovely mama is making an appearance in the show tonight. Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
All right, we got the man of look, bro. I've been watching your streams. I've been watching the videos coming out. Code Dizzle _ Allen. You gotta check him out on Facebook Gaming. This dude, a man with a new roll out Dizzle bots. I'm ready. Tell me that. Like you tell me that, I'm like this. I'm like, I'm with you, bro. What you
All right,
mean?
I'm there.
Do I
Yeah,
need
I'm
to
rolling.
like cut your grass?
Like I'm at this point in time. I every time I say it, I feel like I'm about to offend Cody. Like just roll.
No.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
My
jeez.
bad. My bad.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro, I roll deep, bro. You can't offend a cold pimp like me. Stone to the
he
bone,
rolled-
sitting in my throne. Let's go.
This mug rolls over, not out. He rolls over, not out. Code
Over
Dizzle, he says, Dizzlebots, roll out. It's cool. It's cool. All right, how's the show going, by the way? Before we jump into our show, because we got to do this, since all other podcasts talk for like 20 minutes about their own lives. Let's spotlight yours. How is the stream going, Code Dizzle?
I mean, it's going good, man. It's just a slow
Tell
burn.
us what you're doing. Because I heard these other cats. I saw a video the other day. It's like, why is COD dead? What are you gonna do if COD dies,
bro? It's getting there for me, bro. It's just so frustrating.
Right.
Yeah,
we gotta play Assassin's Creed. Let's go back and play retro games together. That's what I think.
The only thing with
channel.
that is you would have to create a whole new audience, you know, and people that watch Call of Duty now, they might be interested in another first-person shooter when that happens, you know, when that decides to drop and be relevant all of a sudden. But for the most part, you're dealing with people that are pretty set in what they want to watch. And
you gotta go back and have a Nintendo 64 channel, like a channel or something like that. Anyway,
that's something that a lot of people do, and they actually are successful in doing it. So
like
it's not a
retro, the retro video,
Yeah.
man, is there was a baseball game where they played like there were robots that played awesomely. What was it called? What was it? It was pretty awesome. And you would fight. Like if you stole second base, you would have to like battle to get there. Anyway.
Dude, people still play Tetris on Twitch and pull a good number of viewers.
Well, of course, because it's just a mathematical game. You know, people still play chess too. I am one of those people.
You ever play Minesweeper?
Nerds. No, I'm playing.
Nerds. All right. Cody, tell us what do we have to talk about tonight? You said the show was how we determine our draft. Tell us what the title is and why we should care about it.
Well, really, and I even kind of thought about this afterward. I think the title should have been, do the Falcons control our draft destiny?
They do. No,
Because
really,
we're
screwed.
Them sitting at number 4, I mean, dude, they have the Carolina Panthers inside the walls of Jericho right now. I mean, basically,
they're sounding the horns.
Yeah, dude. So whoever, you know, if another team, let's say Denver, falls in love with, you know, whoever is left, Justin Fields or Trey Lance or whatever, and then they decide, well, you know what, we're going to move up to 4, and then Atlanta prevents us from getting our quarterback, and they get to add, you know, more draft capital and probably another first-round pick next year. So it's just a tough situation, and I'm really wanting to know and kind of get a feeler from Panther fans. How are we feeling about our chances in the draft? I mean, are we resigned to this position? Like, well, maybe the 49ers take Matt Jones and that bumps some people down.
No, it's not happening.
Well,
That's
then,
all
okay,
bullshit, bro. That is the most
position
bullshit story out there.
So
I'm
what's
sorry.
So
it's
what's
not
the
real.
plan?
All right, and the plan is this: is at the very minimum, Trevor Lawrence is taken by first. Number one. Look, nobody said his name at all. At all. Have you heard his? We watched these pro days where cats were chunking it, were sucking it. Like, I think Mac Jones pro day looked terrible. I think Justin Fields looked wonderful. I think that I watched Trey Lance. It was okay. I mean, not like okay, like as in wasn't great, but like it was better than Mac Jones joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy with that. I'm telling you, nobody has said Trevor Lawrence's name. Not a now nutter time. Why? Because they already know. Number one, done.
Yeah, there's
like,
no reason to even.
Done. Like, they don't even say his name. I'm telling you, bro, is that when it comes to this challenge, all the stuff we watch, it is bullshit if you think that the San Francisco 49ers are going to pick Mac Jones. I'm sorry. Like, if you think that, I will put money up against that. And I will call you a dumbass. And if I'm wrong, I'll let you write on my face with permanent marker on this podcast afterwards. Because there is no effing way that Kyle Shanahan, who has been instrumental in running one of the best offensive run games in the history of the world over the last few years, is going to pick a stagnant ass quarterback. Number two, his ass made RG3. What was RG3 an MVP that year or like a rookie? He was rookie of the year.
Yeah.
But he beat the ass with that. So I'm sorry. I don't believe you trade into the 3 spot to get a guy that's never played an NFL snap who can't run. And I will put my again, you can write on my face, you can draw a Cam Newton dick right across my face if they draft. Actually, that would be the worst thing ever if that happened.
Yeah,
but no, they are not drafting fucking Mac Jones.
You're on video saying
all right,
that
you're
if
right.
you do that, we're going to draw a big ass dick on your face.
I'll do it in Expo
I do want to highlight.
I do it in Expo marker.
Yeah, whatever. It might be permanent, man. I think that would be better for the content. Matt Knows Nothing makes a good point. He says Matt Jones, both pro days have been horrible. And really, I mean, this is the conversation.
I mean, I don't even watch film and I look at that shit and
but this is the conversation on Matt Jones. Matt Jones had an incredible offensive line, probably the best offensive line in college football, had an incredible group of receivers that were, open a ridiculous amount of time. So you're questioning Mac Jones's ability to create on his own. And then at his pro day, he's sailing passes. His first pro day, he kind of underthrew a bunch of passes. And then to compensate for that again, he does another pro day, which is in and of itself kind of unprecedented. I guess Alabama had some other players. And Matt Jones thought, well, I would have thrown at the combine and then thrown at my pro day. So why not just do 2 of them and try and put to bed some of the criticisms of my game?
He would have been better off not doing the second one.
Yeah, I really don't feel that he did much for himself.
He looked sorry, bro. And on top of that, look, as everybody goes this is what they tell me. They say, you just hate Mac Jones. You just think he's not athletic, which is bullcrap. I don't care about his athleticism. I care about looking at his physique and saying this guy is a college athlete and he don't look much better than me. And I'm 39 years old. So I do have a problem with that. And then third is I watched the Justin Fields pro day every throw. And there was all right, so they interviewed his head coach. What's his name? John Day, something Day.
Ryan Day.
Ryan Day. Thank you. And Ryan Day kept saying, he's like, this is weird because nobody is so quiet, this and that. But he was pumping his boy up. But he kept saying the spin on the ball. The spin on the ball. He said that probably like 20 times. And you could say that's coach speak, but no, I saw it. I saw the spin on the ball.
Yeah.
And guess who I didn't see it with? I did not see it with Mac Jones. Sorry. It looked like a dead football that was going down the field.
Urban Meyer said
Justin Fields looked like a live football. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, Urban Meyer wanted to stand really close next to Trevor Lawrence so he could hear the football coming out of his hand at Trevor's pro day. Yeah, so that's really important. I mean, listen, arm talent matters. There's a narrative that has kind of
and the type of ball you throw.
The type of ball you throw, but there's also this narrative that arm talent kind of doesn't matter because there have been quarterbacks that have been drafted that don't necessarily have the biggest arm, but they still put up a bunch of stats and did good things in college and even went on to do good stuff in the NFL. Arm talent matters, and the big four, and that's how I refer to them. I mean, I think this is a legendary draft for quarterbacks. I mean, not all. So, for example, all the quarterbacks that came out last year, they didn't tick all the boxes that these guys tick to me. Or for
Give
the
me an
most
example.
part.
Give me an example.
So, for example, I would say that Lawrence, Fields, Lance, and Wilson probably have better arm talent than Joe Burrow did. Maybe not Justin Herbert.
I can see that.
But definitely more than Tua Tagovailoa. All of them are more mobile, I would say, than Tua Tagovailoa. And a lot of these guys like Lawrence and Justin Fields have a more extensive resume than Joe Burrow, who went number 1 last year. So, I really think this is a great class.
Or maybe higher upside, you would say.
Yeah, real high upside kind of players. And you mentioned that. I can even pull some up. Some of the throws that Justin Fields is able to make. I mean, the dude has arm talent. He always has been an incredible arm talent prospect, making throws on the run. Not as good as Zach Wilson in that department, making throws on the run, but still a damn good football player and in the conversation to potentially go number 3 to the 49ers.
CK, what are your thoughts? Is that the Justin Field timeline has taken over the NFL over? Is that we heard a lot of guys, and I'm gonna kind of call out the Bilvos and the smug people. Like, everybody's got to be a smug. They're like this. They're like, well, maybe the Panthers didn't want to trade up to 3. Maybe they didn't think this great about Justin Fields. Maybe this and that, like he's a one-read guy. And I watched the tape from his pro day, and all I saw was this. It was silence. Silence from people that were pissed. He ran a 4-3. Wait, he ran a 4-4 something. What was it like?
Justin Fields?
Yeah.
4-4-4.
Yeah, 4-4-4. He ran a damn receiver time. This man was just launching missiles over everywhere. And then somehow some people are going to try to tell me they didn't feel that high about him, but somehow Mac Jones could be in the offering. I don't believe it, CK.
Yeah, no, it's quite hysterical to see the difference in what you're getting out of a quality of quarterback with Justin Fields as opposed to a Mac Jones. Like you said, I mean, you looked at Mac Jones pro day and said, I mean, if you were looking at it from the perspective of, I don't need a quarterback, we're just seeing who's good. You looked at him and said, right? We're looking at him and say, oh no, he's so bad, right? Because we need a quarterback. And if we get him, we're going to be disappointed. I mean, he has an opportunity. He has a chance to do something with an organization, and we just hope it's not with ours, right? But
and at 8, it's actually, you know what? I don't have a problem with him in the 3rd, like a Will Greer. It's at 8. That's the problem. For me.
No, and that's a fair point. Is overdrafting him? That's where I think we've put ourselves, and that's why I think that it's a possibility we find ourselves drafting a Mac Jones. Not because I want that to happen, but because we've forced ourselves into a situation where we have to get a quarterback. We have to. There is no other scenario that exists where we don't get a quarterback. Like, we have to have a quarterback. I mean, based on the way that this organization's been talking.
My man said this company. Boom.
I mean, It sort of is,
Yeah,
bro.
it's true.
It is a $1 billion company.
No,
That's
it's exactly what it
is.
is. It's okay to call it that.
So, I mean, just to think about it from that perspective and say, these guys are just what our organization has put out. I mean, there's just no way we don't go with a quarterback. And because of that, I think we force ourselves into taking somebody and overdrafting a Mac Jones. Hopefully there's somebody who's available. Hopefully the Falcons. I mean, the biggest question mark right now, I think, is going to be the Falcons, because you're right, Cody. 110%. They control our destiny. And I wouldn't be surprised if they take a quarterback in spite, because they know we're going to be looking
in spite.
for
They're
one.
going to do it anyway. And I got there's a good amount of chat going down in the Discord, folks. You can check it out. The show notes, the Discord link is there. It's a live chat that's going on among people that are in the chat room right now, and ourselves first to know about anything. Posted an article. I read a tweet about us signing Micah Simons, and I said, I'm writing this little blog about it real quick. But posted it in the damn Discord. Guess what? News broke. It was already broke for like 22 minutes before I even posted the link, because it's live there and people are having fun. But when it comes down to what you're talking about, CK, is that rehash exactly. So you're trying to tell me, give your argument one last time, because I think I have a back, like a counter to it.
I believe that the Panthers have forced themselves into a situation where they overdraft a quarterback like Mike Jones.
Now, that is actually a great argument, because when it comes back to the Falcons, and this is what I was trying to figure out, what I was trying to say. But I was talking to, I think it was who was it? I cannot remember. Anyway, the point being is the Falcons are drafting quarterback, bro. They have to. They have to draft a quarterback at 4. And then they're going to try to tell me this is like, because they got all this cap money on Matt Ryan, it's perfect. You draft a rookie quarterback, you pay Matt Ryan his money. The rookie quarterback costs you very little. I mean, very little. And then next year, you're trying to trade Matt Ryan to a team that is in contention. Like, that's one player away.
There is a circumstance that exists where they don't draft.
That.
One
would be silly.
One devil's advocate.
You pass on Justin Fields
scenario. So one scenario to look at, and I heard some Falcons fans put it this way. I forget where it was at, maybe on Twitter. But they're not really going to be able to move on from Matt Ryan, be it by trade or whatever, for at least another 2 years.
1 year. 1 year.
Well,
1 year.
next
That's
year
it.
$45 million, but I think I want to say
and it comes down in this last year, so maybe. But here's the thing: is that you would, if you get one good year for a quarterback in 2023, and the cap is back up. I mean, that's not that much. It's just 1 year of paying 40. I think that he could command what Matt Stafford ultimately commanded, just a 1 year deal, and maybe not, but they just take on the deal and they do it. I would not be surprised if they want a guy that could sit 1 year. A Fields or a Lance would be ultimately a perfect landing runway for them.
I definitely get the mindset behind that. I also think that one of the reasons why you would prefer a rookie quarterback is because of the contract, right? You have a less amount of time, that you have to pay him a ridiculous amount of basically quarterback money, right? So, that's one reason why you would say, yeah, have him. But again, you say it's 1 year. I've heard some Falcons fans say that their commitment pretty much would have to be for longer than 1 year. Thereby, you're actively diminishing the amount of time that you're going to be able to have a rookie quarterback on that rookie contract. So it's almost like you're wasting the window that you have to build around whoever
You're not
the
wasting a window.
is.
You're not wasting a window. You're creating a perfect environment. At the very worst, all right, so what's the very worst that could happen is that Matt Ryan goes out there and throws 50 touchdowns this year, and you continue to sit your top fleet, but that's not going to happen. He ain't going to be that good. Is that if you could sit a raw prospect, right, for a whole year, similar to Patrick Mahomes, and not diminish your team entirely, but you're not going to get back up into the top 1, 2, 3, or 4 again. I'm telling you, man, it's like they would be foolish not to.
Have you guys even heard this scenario too? That the Jets might ask for a first round pick for Sam Darnold.
That's ridiculous.
They would give us Sam Darnold for the 8th pick. And I like keep on hearing this from people in the media, and I have no idea where this inflated value all of a sudden on Sam Darnold is. To the Sam Darnold point, though, I would rather have Sam Darnold as a backup than, whatever the options are this year. Taking another gamble on Matt Jones and wasting a first-round pick. If it's a third-round pick, well, then go offensive tackle, go corner, build some of the pieces that we need and take a gander on Sam Darnold. I don't know. We need to have a backup plan. And I said this a few weeks ago. Now that teams are actively showing their aggression and moving up to try and get a quarterback, I assume that to mean there's probably going to be teams that are wanting to trade with Atlanta, with Cincinnati, teams ahead of us to get their quarterback.
That's where we're supposed to be. That's where we're going to have to trade.
We have to have a fail-safe, though, in case
if it does not look. If the Falcons is that Denver could trade with the Falcons, somebody else could trade with but the Falcons ain't going to trade the 4 to us. And if they did, I wouldn't even be interested in it because I feel like they would require so much. It's meant to ruin our organization forever. So I don't like to do dealings with people I don't trust, ultimately, is why I'm saying that. But if the Falcons don't pick a quarterback at 4, bro, we better be going after the Cincinnati pick. And if we don't, then we get what we get because Denver will. And if we don't, maybe Detroit will. When it comes to the Matt Ryan contract, this is what the numbers are, is in 2021, he is owed, he counts $27 million against the cap. In 2022, he counts $48 million against the cap. But if they were to trade him, it says the dead money would be 40 million. They could trade him and take a ton of dead money on, and the other team would be okay. But you know what? But if you had a guy and you could get some assets, that's what you do. Kind of like the Stafford deal a little bit. I'm saying this, and then you could trade him away, and he would be only $15 million, I think. Oh, nope, never mind. You ain't trading him away if it's 2023.
Yeah.
Sorry, he'll be cut, but I guess. Ugh.
But that's what.
Maybe we get it. Nah, but they can't. Wait, they got to find a way. They got to find a way.
I mean, I don't know, but if you know for a fact that you're not going to be able to play a franchise, a young rookie quarterback for another 2 years at least, then it does kind of seem like a wasted window of a rookie on a rookie contract to have him in the building, and you're not going to be able to pay him. So
the worst then is someone else gets to get that pick then. So
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They can one get more bang for their buck, and they can get more draft capital while simultaneously boxing us out of the pick and preventing us from getting the quarterback. It's a shit situation, man. We should have lost that fucking game against Washington.
Don't bring it up.
We should have lost that fucking game against Washington. Straight up.
CK, you got anything to say about it?
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory at this point. I do think that there's a chance. I mean, you guys we're writing off Matt Ryan for the Falcons right now. I mean, he's still. You got to keep in mind, Tom Brady is still playing. I'm not going to put Matt Ryan in that category, but it's no secret that Matt Ryan, when he's surrounded by talent, he can be an elite quarterback in this league, right? And if we say that that's not the case, you got to keep in mind how many times he has destroyed the Panthers with a quarterback that we would consider elite, especially in his prime, in Cam Newton. So, I mean, to say that they're not going to even have a chance at keeping Matt Ryan at the helm and not even drafting a younger quarterback and maybe trying to play for the not having a rebuild, but because, I mean, they got a lot of pieces that they need, right? They have a lot of pieces. I don't think that they're in this.
Yeah, they got
rebuild.
Mike Davis.
They have Julio Jones. They have tremendous amount of people. They have a great wide receiver core. And if you look at the stats, I mean, outside of the wins and win-loss ratio, Matt Ryan wasn't like the reason that they completely just tanked last year, right? It was number one. They had a coach that ended up getting fired midway through the season. And this is by no means, I hate Matt Ryan, but the reality is he is not a bad quarterback, and he has not proven that he's a bad quarterback. He's not clutch, I would say, but he's got an incredible arm, and there is no debating that. Like if he got released or traded, or if released, that'd be fantastic, right? I mean, would you be upset that if we signed Matt Ryan to a team-friendly deal as opposed to Teddy Bridgewater? I wouldn't.
Dude, I can't fucking stand Matt Ryan. Just like how Tony doesn't like Russell Wilson. But for me,
I'm the same with Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. And plus,
I agree with that.
But the way I look at quarterbacks, like Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, and a guy like Mac Jones, they're the same kind of prototype. Like, you're going to need to build around them. You're going to need to put them in a good offensive scheme.
No, you're underestimating Matt Ryan.
They can do some. No, that's him 100%.
No, it's not that. They haven't had a good defense ever,
in
bro.
2016,
they've never had a good defense.
They had a good offense. They had a good offensive line. They had all
They
those
didn't
weapons,
have a good defense.
but it doesn't
They
matter.
had a fucking terrible defense. Yes, it does matter because Tom Brady scored like a bazillion points on him in like 4 seconds, bro.
My point is that Matt Ryan is a quarterback that isn't going to create on his own. If you put him on a good football team, on a good offense, yeah, he can do some shit. But he's never going to do what, for example,
he's
Cam
way
did
better
in
than Kirk Cousins.
How?
Wait.
What's
You don't
way better than Kirk Cousins?
Well,
What's
he's been to
way
a Super
better?
Bowl. He's been to an NFC championship. How about that?
And he's
I'll
been
give
an
you 2
MVP.
games. Yeah. So boom. I'll give you that. Exactly.
Well, okay, that was all on him.
That's it. Yeah, well, it was like a
No,
rookie.
you just mentioned what the Falcons did. What does Matt
He was like
Ryan
a
do?
rookie the first
Kirk
year he went to
Cousins
an NFC
can't.
championship.
Look at the stats, bro. I mean, if you look at Matt Ryan's stats from the
let's
day he's
pull
been
it
in the
up.
league,
Let's pull it up.
like he is on pace to be very similar in numbers to some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, as far as like touchdowns and passing yards.
I'm not ready to go that far, but I'm just trying to say he's
Statistically
way
speaking.
better than. All right, let's pull him up. I'll pull
No,
him up.
no, you guys are vastly
pull him.
misunderstanding what I'm saying. Even Andy Smith.
Kirk Cousins.
I am not.
Kirk
Listen,
Cousins.
I'm not shitting on
Kirk Cousins,
on Matt
hold
Ryan.
up.
What's
Yes, you
different about
are.
them?
You
What's different about
are.
them? Is there
Well, one
player
has never
who has
been
better
to
arm talent?
to a Super Bowl.
That's not all
one.
on the quarterback, though.
All right. Here I'm gonna pull
It's
it
not
up. All right.
100% on the quarterback.
But he did join a
You're
team
about to
that
get
was in the
Julio
playoffs
Jones.
multiple years.
And Julio
I
Jones.
hate
and
Matt
Calvin
Ryan
Ridley,
and his shitty pants, but
and
bro.
Devontae Freeman.
All right.
But
Look, I'm
hold
gonna pull it.
on. Like, but
I'm
you're also
pulling it
putting
up
that
right now.
you're putting that into
I'll
perspective
pull
with
up
the
the
running
stats.
backs. They were nobody. Like they were in a very similar situation to our 2015 team. Like their running back situation was not like nobody thought that Devontae Freeman was going to come in there and be as dominant as he was as a running back. Nobody thought Tevin Coleman was going to come in there and do what he did. Like they both were a surprise, right? So I mean, it's not out of the ordinary.
Matt Ryan has played since 2008. All right. 2008, he has a 65.4 completion rate. All right. Let's see what Kirk Cousins got. I'm going to pull him up. I got Matt Ryan up. On top of that, he's thrown for 55,767 yards. So
with
almost
Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley.
No.
No,
We don't get to that. No, we don't get that. No.
Why do we not? You take the entire Atlanta Falcons team that went to the Super Bowl and attribute it all to Matt Ryan, but I can't say that he had.
Well, he played with Stephon Diggs, which you have been on this show.
Stephon Diggs left the Vikings and Kirk Cousins as a quarterback, and he led the league in receiving yards.
You have been up here sucking Stephon Diggs D a lot on this show, so don't come up in here and be like, "Well, he had."
But what is that? How does that? But listen, none of that differentiates them.
It does matter. It matters. It matters.
You have not said one thing that Matt Ryan can do or does that Kirk Cousins.
Well, first of all, he has been in here.
And by the way, you still misunderstanding me. I'm just trying to say they're the same prototype. They're not going to produce on their own.
No.
They're not. That's
not what you said. That's not what you said to start. Now you're backpedaling. You're backpedaling.
If you put some players around them, then they'll be okay. But they're not fantastic football players. I see them as the same kind of prospect.
Dude, yeah. Well, then you see Matt Stafford is the same. I see Matt Stafford and Matt Ryan as very similar. Like alone, and you know what? What I mean by that,
arm talent is better.
No, I don't care about. No, you like this and that. They're like 30s. These are guys that have the capability to get it done. But might not but they're not a guy like that's 24 and you're going to build around for the rest of your. All right, here, look. I want to look up what'd you say? Kirk Cousins? What's his name? Kurt? I don't even know this dude's name.
So we just now. We're just looking at numbers and determining.
No, first of all, how about this? No, you're talking Matt
Ryan. Hey, man. Weapons.
No, Matt Ryan's been around since 2008. So first of all, he's been around for 4 more years. That's one thing, right? So there's a difference in age. Right, big time. And Kirk Cousins has a very good completion percentage. How about that?
But he's an equivalent, in my opinion. Kirk Cousins is very similar to what we have with Teddy Bridgewater, and he's
no. Kirk Cousins go downfield.
I am not willing.
You like that?
Look, I am not willing to die on this hill. All I'm wanting.
Don't die on this one.
Is for any of you or anyone in the chat room, to all of the 82 people watching, somebody tell me something that Matt Ryan does that is attributable to Matt Ryan that you also cannot say about Kirk Cousins. And don't mention anything about numbers. Please, I dare you.
He has a better arm, and he's been able to be more consistent than Kirk Cousins ever has been.
If I had a better computer, I would destroy you with numbers.
I mean, let's look at the other part of this. Matt Ryan's played 12 years in this league, right? And MVP, right? J-Dub, you're right.
He's right.
He's played 12 years in this league, and he is number 10.
He's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to an NFC.
He's number 10 all time in passing touchdowns, and then that's 350 essentially. If you divide that by 12, how many is that per year?
Look, I think
30 touchdowns per year.
I agree with Jake.
This is crazy. Look,
that's what they have in common. They're both goofy looking white guys. Yeah. That's what they have in common.
Well, all right, here, how about this? Is Matt Ryan's been a starter his entire time, right? Look, Kirk Cousins didn't start till 2015. He rode the bench for 4 years, 3 or 4 years. So it's not a good comparison in their careers. If you try to compare them in their ability, I disagree a little bit too, because I feel like Matt Ryan is more of a Brady-esque statue.
What does that mean?
And like he's tall and immobile, and Kirk Cousins is kind of...
He's not short.
Yes, he is.
Kirk Cousins is not short.
You about to be in trouble.
Dude, I don't even know why everyone is having such a hard time with this. All I'm saying is that
he's 6'3". He is so short. I am so much tall. Oh,
Zach Wilson.
You're right.
Wilson is
he does not look as tall. You're right on that.
Yeah,
you're
right
tripping.
And neither of them.
I'm not tripping.
Yes, you are. There's not a whole lot of difference between the two.
I disagree. I think that if you watch the game,
whole inch. Whole inch. Matt Ryan is 6'4".
Oh, Matt played in the Super Bowl. Oh, Matt.
No.
Listen, I want y'all to tell me something that the man does that Kirk Cousins doesn't do.
He scares me a hell of a lot more than Kirk Cousins ever has.
Hey, man, that's the truth about that.
Jones, Calvin Ridley.
He had, but you got to keep in mind, Kirk Cousins had Stephon Diggs.
It don't matter.
What is the guy's name?
And they went to the playoffs.
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, but that's again, you're talking about that. But you're not looking at the numbers with that. He wasn't like an incredible quarterback.
CK, he's right. We should be poo-pooing.
No, Matt Ryan. Here's the problem.
I'm gonna poo-poo him. I'm gonna
look at it
like he poo-pooed in his own pants. He's right. I'm gonna poo-poo Matt Ryan's Falcons. And you're right.
I don't like Matt Ryan. Don't get me wrong, but to say that he is
not gonna fool me.
Great. I do think it's
I'm just talking about this. I think Cody, if you're saying that, then you're telling me right now you think Matt Ryan is a better quarterback than Cam Newton ever was, because Cam Newton never beat Matt Ryan. He beat him once or twice in his entire career here.
Dude, what are you talking about right now? What does it have to do with Cam Newton?
It has everything to do with Cam Newton. Why would I make
that comparison?
Because it has everything to do with Cam. Because what I'm talking about is what is Matt Ryan's record against Cam Newton?
His record, off the top, dude, it doesn't matter. Matt Ryan on his best day couldn't do the kinds of things that Cam Newton could do throwing or running.
But he's done it. He's done what he's done well and a lot more consistent than Cam Newton has his entire career.
Don't back down, Kurt Dizzle. Don't back down.
But with better receivers, with better offensive coordinators.
No.
Wait, hold on.
Ryan didn't have better receivers than Cam Newton.
How many coaches did Matt Ryan have to go through?
Okay, how many of those coaches were better offensive coordinators than what Cam Newton had to deal with?
Ifs and buts. Tell him. Hit him with the ifs and buts.
No,
your aunt would be my nuts. And we're talking to you, Cody. We're talking to you. No, is that it is. Do you see how it feels like when you say that Cam Newton and Matt Ryan should be in the same sentence? It hurts. Like it's like somebody's peeing on your leg and telling it's raining, right? You just told that's the same thing about saying Kirk Cousins and Matt Ryan. I hate Matt Ryan, but he's in a different class than Kirk Cousins.
The gap between Matt Ryan and Kirk Cousins, between the gap between Cam Newton and Matt Ryan.
How about one team? How about this? Is one team? He's been with one team for his entire time. The other team didn't believe in him. That's enough.
Exactly. Right Number one, they weren't willing to pay him. And Kirk Cousins is about to lose his job again because nobody wants him. He has not been able to carry his team.
And I like Kirk Cousins. I'm not trying to shit on Kirk Cousins, but that's unfair to say.
You don't think the Vikings are going to – they're not re-signing him after his contract's up. There is no chance in hell he's coming back.
They extended him. They signed him to a 2-year extension.
Because they're trying to save money. That was a restructure. It wasn't a re-sign. It was a restructure. And so here's the thing.
It doesn't matter. They were still able to extend him.
It does. It means that they can cut him a lot easier in the next couple of years. Like it makes it a lot easier. Anyway, that's beside the point. The discussion here is Matt Ryan is better than Kirk Cousins, right? Do you disagree
I
with
agree
that?
With that. If you disagree with that, Cody, we're not going to let you talk about quarterbers anymore.
He's in another league than Kirk Cousins.
No.
How many times has Kirk Cousins ever been in the discussion of MVP?
Oh my God!
How many times?
Bro, They are not that different. I guarantee you, if you put Kirk Cousins with Kyle Shanahan on that 2016 Falcons squad, Kirk Cousins would do the same shit.
Bro, you had Kirk Cousins and Kyle Shanahan together, I think, didn't they?
Would do the same shit.
No.
Please, I need a Redskins fan. Are there someone Redskins fan? Tell me if Shanahan fought with.
So?
He's got all of them, and he's never been an MVP candidate.
Matt Ryan had Devontae Smith.
Here's the question. I got a question for the chat room. Was Kyle Shanahan the coach of Kirk Cousins?
Yes.
For a team that was starting?
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I think as long as RG3 was hurt afterwards. So, no, we saw them both. So I don't want to hear that either. Like, this you put Kyle Shanahan with Matt Ryan and this is and
real logic, right? Andy Smith.
It's not real logic. You just want to, and that's fine. Hate on Matt Ryan.
No, the only way that Matt Ryan is better than Matthew Stafford is I think he has better deep ball accuracy, or not Stafford, better deep ball accuracy than Kirk Cousins. Other than that, they're basically the same asshole, and you can't convince me different.
But that's a big part of being a quarterback.
All night, dude. You're not convincing me different.
Bro, so you're telling me right now,
blowing you up in the chat, bro.
We're sitting here talking about not having a quarterback that can throw the ball deep accurately, and you're telling me the one guy you said that has a better accuracy than Kirk Cousins deep is not that much better than Kirk Cousins? Like, I mean, I think that's...
No, I said he has better deep ball accuracy.
It took Stephon Diggs going to another team with a different quarterback with a better arm for him to lead the league in NFL reception.
Listen
NFL
to bunch of Falcons fans. I am the only one that has mentioned the one thing that Matt Ryan does better than Kirk Cousins. I've been asking for over an hour now.
I've told you. Listen,
I'm the only one that mentioned it.
I don't even believe that's true, to be honest. I actually think Kirk Cousins throws deep like crazy all the time. But
I think that
Let's
Matt
go. How
Ryan
about
is
this?
the more elite quarterback.
Is the fact that you think Kirk Cousins is so good is amazing, and the fact that we think Matt Ryan is so good is even worse. All right, the number is 252-228-5098. Can we get into a cat call and see what you guys want to?
So, what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So, how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in the snow? Who's that kid that can use one?
The nation, it's your boy J-Dub. You've got to be out of your mind. Like, this fan base it still doesn't get it. You don't get how a fucking team is built. You know how you build a championship? You build your fucking team, and then you go get your quarterback. I don't care how. The Eagles built their team, went and traded up to get their quarterback when they got a championship. The San Francisco 49ers built their team when they got their quarterback, almost won the championship. And guess what? They're going to get their quarterback again because they already have a roster. They're ready to win now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they built their roster and then they got their quarterback because they were going to win now. But they had a great roster. So someone wanted to play there. The Rams, they built their one. They already had their quarterback. They traded up to get him. They go did it. And guess what? They went and got another one because they were ready to win. They built the roster first. They built their team. I just don't get it. The Kansas City Chiefs. They built their team. Then they traded up in Mortgage Farm to go get their quarterback. You build your team first, and then you get your quarterback. Why the fuck do we want a quarterback we're in Cam Land again? You don't do it that way. You build your team first. We're in year one of a rebuild. Everyone wants a fucking quarterback.
We're in year two, J.
That's not how it's done. You're skipping steps. You build the team first, and then you go either draft one or go get one. And they're going to be moving a lot more in today's NFL than ever before. You build the fucking team first. We don't have the team yet. No, I don't want the quarterback. I don't give a fuck if they follow us. I disagree with this. I don't want them. We don't have the team to go win one now. And by the time we do, it's going to be time to pay them.
I disagree with everything J-Dub just said.
It just drives me nuts. And no one knows how this draft's going to go. We could trade back and get a bunch of shit for the future. Do like Miami did. They built their fucking team, and then they went and got a quarterback. And now they built the draft capital so they could build a team around them. Even I'm of the belief you have to build a team first, and then you get one. Like, I just don't get it. And no, we should not mortgage. Why would we mortgage a farm to get a quarterback right now? We don't have the roster to go win anything.
Disagree.
So
no one knows
you're not be able to build a roster and then you get a quarterback.
Whenever someone says we don't have the roster, what do you mean by saying?
I don't get how no one else sees this. We don't have a roster ready to go get a quarterback now. We don't need a quarterback now.
J-Dub. You're wrong.
Let Teddy play out at least one more year. Build more roster because this roster's not ready to win now. And you can say, oh, well, Tampa Bay got Brady. They got lucky. No, they had the roster and he chose there. You have to be a spot that people want to fucking play.
Nah, well, they had the roster, part of roster, and then half the roster.
A year or two about getting a quarterback. I don't care if they're not in the draft. Just wait.
But my thing is
every year.
But
Zach Wilson wasn't known a couple years ago. And guess what? He was there.
It's about over. It's over.
My thing is this, J-Dub. Look at the Chicago Bears right now. How many years in a row have the Bears been a really good football team? They've had offensive weapons. They've had a good defense. Khalil Mack. They have had a good team forever, and that they're not able to go up and just get their quarterback. Everyone makes it sound like, oh, you build the team first, and then you go get the quarterback. Like it's just going to be so easy to get the quarterback whenever you want to do it. Like what
that
makes
is that you're right, bro.
Yes, and look, this is the danger. Okay, if you build the team that way, and then let's say you're picking 17th or 18th. You know, Panther fans are like, oh, there's no way we could be a playoff team that quick. I maintain that you don't know that, but let's say let's say the Panthers won 17 or 18 games, and then what? If you want to move up into the top 5 for a quarterback, imagine the amount that you're going to have to give up to go from the late teens all the way into the top 5 or potentially the top 10 to get a quarterback. Like everyone makes it sound so simple. Quarterbacks don't just grow on trees, man.
No.
Shout out 704 Mount Charlotte. He just said it too. They don't just grow on trees. If you're in striking distance of a franchise quarterback, you pull the trigger on it. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that you're not holding your dick in your hand for another 5 years. I disagree with that completely.
All right, so I've kind of been thinking about this as like I've been wanting to write an article about it. Is like, and I haven't figured out how I want to tackle it. Is it like a satire? Is it a conversation or something? But between value guy and like, so when we talk about this, is there's either two types of guys, and that is the value guy, which is like, no, we can't give up all these assets to get a quarterback. I mean, like, we can't move up. It's just the value's not there.
Right.
And then there's the other guy, which is the guy that's like, it doesn't, which is sort of a little bit more what you lean towards, Cody, which is like it doesn't matter how much it is. The quarterback is the only thing. So you have these two extremes. You have value guy and quarterback guy, and they're in an argument. But I continue to come back to a lot of statements that you say all the time, Cody. And maybe I've listened to you too much. Maybe I've hung out with you too long. Maybe I have let your
that's
rhetoric
true.
propagandize my brain to a bit. But I would say it's not an either or. It's not an either or. Is that like, hey, we need a quarterback until we got one. Like until the moment that we get a quarterback and any team has a quarterback, they need one. Like they need to be searching for their dude, their big D swinging dude, and not the flaccid Teddy Bridgewater one. But I'm talking about the moment, but I'm talking about the Cam Newton one where we said this, like I told you, is like when we had Cam Newton and we thought he was right, we never thought we had to address the quarterback position. That's my thing. Is like if we were in the draft right now, and we had Cam Newton and he was healthy, we wouldn't be like, oh, well, maybe we need to draft the next
we
Cam
wouldn't
Newton.
be having this.
No, you'd be like this. We need to get a tackle. We need to do this. But until you got that dude, you don't have him.
Right. You don't have the dude.
I really agree with you. This is that your range is important. Like where you're at is sitting about it is kind of important. Yeah. And that's why actually, you know what? That's why I'm arguing to Falcon fans, people who think the Falcon people, they should not draft a quarterback. They're silly. You're in for, yes, you got all this money tied up in it, but guess what? That day will be over soon. It will be over soon. And I'm telling you, until the Panthers get their dude, I understand. Draft a tackle. Look, I'm not opposed to making other positions on our team good, but I am opposed to the idea that if Justin Fields was there and we took Penei Sewell, I'm like not down with it.
Yeah,
but if it's Mac Jones or Penei Sewell, then I'm like, all right, then we're talking. Those are different discussions, bro. Right. They're different discussions to have a guy that you could never get potentially, and he's there. You got to take him. The problem is the Carolina Panthers are paralyzed. They're paralyzed at this point because 8 ain't gonna get it. So you gotta make a choice, and so I don't like we don't do this and that. If it's there, take it. If it's not, punt.
Hey, so let me ask you this: to these, to all you Matt Ryan lovers, if you knew Matt Jones would be as good or comparable to Matt Ryan, would you take him at 8?
I mean, that's again one of those scenarios that you talk about. Like if you,
that's kind of weird. That's a bullshit question. That's
like saying if you knew that Mahomes was,
question?
If you knew Mahomes was going to be Mahomes, would you have? Obviously, you would. I think yes, I would take a. I would take a Matt Ryan
12-year starter, a 12-year starter, Super Bowl appearance and MVP. Yeah, I guess.
What I mean is,
yes, I guess.
The Falcons drafted Matt Ryan with the third pick, third or fourth in like 2002 or 3. But whatever. What I'm saying is that if he has a ceiling, like whenever you project a player and you give them a ceiling pick, like at their best, they might look like this player.
That's not fair because then that disregards on the other players. That disregards the other players.
What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. For a comparison for Mac Jones, I would say you're hoping that at his best, he becomes a player like Matt Ryan. So then if if they are comparable players, you wouldn't draft Matt Jones at 8 if Matt Ryan was a comp for him?
All right. No. Well, first of all, Matt Ryan was the first quarterback taken in 2008. Jake Long was taken at the tackle. Chris Long was taken at defensive end, which I think he might maybe be playing. Matt Ryan, Darren McFadden, Glenn Dort. Yeah. So, that was like the best. Oh, Joe Flacco was picked. He was the best quarterback in that draft. So, no, I don't think it is. I don't think comparing it to this draft and that draft is fair. And I do want to go to J-Dub. J-Dub said this. He said, I was talking about trading up. And I still agree. And I'm not changing my position on this. I am not changing my position on this. Until you got your quarterback, you don't got your quarterback. And so guess what? We missed out. We did not get the 3rd draft pick. Whether we tried for it, whether you want to believe Bill Voth and them that we don't love the 3rd dude enough to trade up, fine, believe that. But guess what we ain't doing? We ain't picking a quarterback at 3. There's a potential that there's going to be a quarterback or someone else trade into number 4, and we ain't going to get him. Fine. Maybe we trade into the Bengals At 5, maybe. And you're still talking about giving up what you didn't want to give up in the first place. And then the last option is that we're going to pick a player like Penei Sewell. We're going to pick a good player. That could be fantastic. But guess what we're going to still be looking for? Quarterback. Until we got one. And I don't know what the answer is about the value. Like, I don't know what it is to where the point you're like, I will not pay for that steak. Like, it's too expensive. You know, it's the best steak ever. And you're like, no, I don't know what the number is, but I know this is that I've seen us play with bum ass left tackles before and don't get it done. I've seen us play with a great ass quarterback and it made it possible.
Hey, I'll be right back.
All right. Let's go to the next call. The number's 252-228-5098. Did the Carolina Panthers miss their opportunity trading up to the third spot with the Miami Dolphins? Did the San Francisco 49ers leapfrog them? Should the Panthers play it safe and just pick the best they can or trade back? What do you guys think could happen, will happen, and should happen? 252-228-5098. Smash the thumbs up button and be a part of the show.
Sorry, Jay, the beginning got cut off. But there's going to be quarterbacks in the next one in the draft after that. There's always quarterbacks that nobody knew about.
Well, there's always left tackles.
I'm guaranteeing you right now, there's no QBs as good in this one as there is in the next one. Yeah, maybe top 2, I'll give you that because the Fields and Lawrence thing. But no one knew about Zach Wilson or Mac Jones.
That's a fair
Trey
point
Lance.
about the Zach Wilson.
A lot before
it was
this.
Unknown.
We knew Trey Lance.
There's always these quarterbacks that come up every year. We have to wait till we have a team to actually go snap one. We can't mortgage our future on getting one now. It's just pointless. There's no
we're
reason
not
to
mortgaging the
have one.
future.
I want to stop this. I'm going to pause it real quick. About the Trey Lance, though. Trey Lance climbed the boards rather than us. I almost wonder is Trey Lance, but not Trey Lance, excuse me, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson went from a dude that was barely even, he didn't even have the starting job going in this past year, and then has climbed in the number 2 spot going to the NFL draft. Because his ascendancy has been so high, I don't know if that is a referendum on Justin Fields. Like maybe Zach Wilson's rocket ship to the moon was a little too fast, but that doesn't mean that that Justin Fields is awesome. And what I'm trying to say is maybe we're a little too in love with, not we, but people fell too quickly in love with Zach Wilson. And then you see Justin Fields pop off all these numbers and you're like, oh God. That doesn't mean Justin Fields isn't great. That just means that people fell a little too in love with Zach Wilson.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think again, even looking back at Zach Wilson's film from 2 years ago, I mean, you can see it. You can see all
but
of
he didn't have the starting job. His kind of point is he was a guy that wasn't the name, that was kind of a dark horse. But yeah, and there's going to be another dark horse next year. Of course, there's going to be another dark horse next year, or this or that. But that doesn't make Justin Fields suck. That's my point.
But also, like, just because there are these guys that come out of nowhere, it doesn't mean that that's the norm. That it's destined to happen every single year. Just because it has, 2 in a row, like that's not. People that knew Kyler Murray before he started at Oklahoma, they knew that he was a really good football player. Like there are guys that are waiting in the wings that we know are good football players. And yeah, then there are guys that, come out of nowhere and have a great season. But listen, if we're judging the quarterback class for what it has right now, guys like Keaton Slovis, Sam Howell, who I got to be very honest, I watched a little bit of Sam Howell, the quarterback from UNC, and I'm not seeing what everyone else does. So I mean, Spencer Rattler next year. There's just a lot of guys that don't have the size, the arm talent, and the mobility of the guys coming out this year. And the way the NFL is moving, you want to have a mobile quarterback that can make a play when your offensive line fails you. And
it doesn't hurt. How about that? You don't want it. It doesn't. Well, yeah, you do want it. And I tell you this: as Mac Jones he looked awful. Y'all watch his pro days, both of them. They look terrible. And I don't want to hear none of this. Like, well, they ain't got pads and this and that. Well, you know what? You wouldn't say that about Justin Fields. Justin Fields was zinging that ball. All right, let's keep going with J-Dub. No, he's got more call. He got more call.
It's just the start of year 2. I want to see what Federer does. He hasn't even done anything yet. How can you blame him for doing anything wrong? Nothing changed.
It started year 1.
Our draft position did not change just because other people moved. We were 8 before yesterday, and now we're 8 today.
I don't know. All right,
nothing changed for us. Why is everyone freaking out? Missed opportunity.
That's kind of the problem.
For what? To get killed behind this line? For an unbuilt roster? Come on now. Calm down and trust the process. We're doing just fine. Nothing changed. We're still number 8.
We've been trusting the process, homie.
We got to build.
And how many times have we said on this
future
podcast?
Forever for good, not for fucking today. Sick of this shit.
Our offensive line was better last year than it has been
ever. Not ever, but yes.
And
since
we were all
2016, it's the best offensive line we've had since 2016.
Terrified that the line was going to be even worse than it had been in years before. So, dude, like this notion that, oh man, if we draft a quarterback, he's gonna get fucking killed. Like, dude, I do not.
I tell you one thing: if you draft a quarterback in the 2nd round and you put him behind that team, guess what he's gonna do? Get killed. A third, like what? Like what's the other? The other options are. It's like kind of like go for it on 4th down or punt. Like you have 2 choices. Like you're at 4th and 2. Right? The 2 yards are not going to be easy. But you could punt and you're down 7. So like I don't know. Like I don't know what the better option is. I tell you this is I agree. I kind of see the middle on this is that I think we may have missed our opportunity. Not may. I think Deshaun Watson massaged us out of this opportunity, bro. Straight up. Like he hip thrust us out of this opportunity. I know he is your boy, Cody. But look, is that when Deshaun Watson was when he was a real option to potentially be a New York Jet, to potentially be a San Francisco 49er, to be like, that helped us in the draft. We never were going to get, in my belief, Deshaun Watson. I don't think we had the assets. I think other people had the firepower. And imagine a Deshaun Watson without the scandal on a San Francisco 49er team. They give him 3 first rounds. Houston does it. Maybe they give him 3 first rounds in a player. Who gives a fuck at that point? And all of a sudden, San Francisco is going to win the damn Super Bowl next year. But the Deshaun Watson scandal screwed us. It screwed us out of a lot of picks because we were never going to get Deshaun Watson. And now we can't trade up because we don't have the opportunity and the assets. And I don't know what to tell you, J-Dub, is that if the guy falls, if Trey Lance is there, I'm picking him. If Justin Fields I'm picking him. If Mac Jones is there, I'm picking Penei Sewell or Drayton Bank. That's that's just what I'm doing.
All the people that are like, oh well, man, if we give up 3 or whatever first round picks to move up, that's trading the farm. We'll never be able to build the team that way. Like
I don't believe that.
My thing is this.
You've convinced me, bro. I'm with you.
But Tony, you know what? All those fans would have said the same thing last year if we would have moved up to trade for Justin Herbert. And people would have lost their minds if we have done that. But
maybe we missed an opportunity last year. Maybe this is what. Maybe this is the sins. Maybe these are maybe we're dealing with the sins of last year.
You know what we should. You know what we should have done?
Move 2 spots.
No, in hindsight. Well, in hindsight, we should have probably moved up to number 3 with the Lions and took Okuda at. It took Herbert at 3 to make sure you get ahead of the Chargers and the Dolphins. Yeah, you know my mindset. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have anything. And the more that you continue to kick this can down the road, the more you're going to do your team potentially irreparable damage, and you end up losing out on another window of opportunity. Like right now,
we can find truth in the middle, though. We can find truth in the middle. And you said until we have a quarterback, we can't get it done.
Yeah.
And until we have a quarterback and a good team, we can't get it done is the truth in the middle. But I'm telling you, guys, look at the good teams around the league that don't have a quarterback and trying to tell me how they're going to win the chip. And I think San Francisco was a fantastic example 2 years ago. The San Francisco 49ers had a tremendous defense, a young, beat your ass into the ground defense. They had Kyle Shanahan has turned out to be a tremendous coach. If you don't like that, then you're a fool, right? And like they've done everything right. They ran the ball. They played defense. They did all of this. And guess who beat them in the Super Bowl? The fucking Kansas City Chiefs and this blue chip ass quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. And why do you think all of a sudden the San Francisco 49ers are trading to the 3 spot? Why? Because they wanted Deshaun Watson. They wanted all of that. They saw they had the perfect moment. They had good coaching. They had good defense. They had a good offensive line. They had all this. And guess what? They couldn't get it done. So you know what Kyle Shanahan is saying? I would rather have an okay wide receiver core and a great quarterback and a great defense than I would vice versa. I'm telling you, I'm with you, Cody. We can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. We can say we want to make our team better at all levels, on defense, on offense, on special teams, and want a quarterback.
Yeah.
And you know who said that more than anybody? The fucking Carolina Panthers, bro. Don't hate us. Don't hate us. The Carolina Panthers have said, the owner of the Carolina Panthers said this, until you got your quarterback, you looking for a quarterback. He said it, not me. He said it.
How do you think Panther fans would have reacted last year if we actually didn't sign Teddy Bridgewater like 704 Bound Charlotte says? Never signed Teddy Bridgewater and let Will Grier or PJ play, and we'd be picking in the jet spot right now. Would this
shit? We almost were picking in the jet spot with
even without.
So I want to say that is that we were picking at the jet spot. We may have been.
But you know my point. My point is.
Tell me your point. Tell me.
You have fans that are like, okay, well, let's build the team now. So listen, you understand that if you're not getting a quarterback this year, then you're essentially asking for another mediocre season of Panthers football. Okay, if we grab a left tackle or a corner, yeah, we'll see the improvement. But this team is not going to take the next step without.
And it's about where you are in the draft too. It's not about that. It's how about this? Guess what we've been saying for the last 7 years on this podcast? Take a damn tackle. Take a this.
Right.
Take a that. Like all of a sudden now we're the jerks because we don't have a quarterback.
This is my point though. All these people that are saying this now that, oh, well, whatever, we just have to build the team and then we go get the quarterback. These are the same fans for the most part that would have been furious if we would have trotted out Will Grier or PJ Walker as our starting quarterback.
No, they wouldn't have. They would have loved these dudes. I disagree. Is that that's what we wanted anyway. Does that tell you that we're
trying to win? If we start the season with Will Grier, does that say to you as Panther fans, oh, the Panthers are trying
I bet
to do
you
it
we
this
would
year.
have. I'm with Greg on this. Is the Bat Daddy is taking a little sabbatical, but he's still coming back. And I'm with Greg on this. Is to be honest, I don't think we would have been much different. I bet you if you started 16 games with PJ Walker, 16 games with Will Grier, and 16 games with Teddy Bridgewater under the same identical circumstances, I bet you we have very similar records. I'm not scared of it. And I'm not even going to say that these people be upset, bro. We would have had Cam.
They would say that we're tanking, and they would have gotten.
It wasn't tanking. It wouldn't have been tanking. It would have been not being foolish.
If we started Will Grier or PJ Walker?
Yes, it would have been fool. It was foolish to sign Teddy Bridgewater to a 33 guarantee. Like that was the foolish part. No, they would have dealt with it. They would have looked at Will Grier. They would have looked at PJ Walker, and we would have had Cam as the starter, homie. We would have had Cam, and Cam would have gotten hurt maybe, and then you'd be like, oh, it's just another year. The worst thing is what we did. The worst thing is we overpaid a stopgap player that now is interrupting our ascendancy.
I'm just saying, fans would have been mad that it would have seemed like we would have been tanking if we didn't.
Don't worry, we're mad. Fans are mad now that we dealt with Teddy Bridgewater,
and we just tried it out. Will Grier or PJ Walker. Everyone would be pissed that we were tanking. When honestly, that should have been the game plan from the jump.
We wouldn't have been see, and again, make me GM, bro. Everybody wants you to be GM. Make me GM. What did I say? Play Cam in his final year. What's the worst that's going to happen? Tell me, what's the worst that's going to happen? He's going to take you to a Super Bowl?
But David Tepper was
oh my God.
No matter what.
Oh, my God. We made the playoffs with Cam Newton. The worst that's going to happen is he's going to either be great or get hurt.
But
right? The worst that's is that all of a sudden is that we go 11-5, we make the playoffs, we win a game or something. Cam Newton gets hurt, he wants an extension. Okay, man, we got to pull the Band-Aid off. Maybe the other worst opportunity is that he's going to get hurt, and we start PJ Walker or Will Grier. You know what sucks even more than all of that? Signing Teddy Bridgewater to a 3-year deal where now we're not bad or good. I'm telling you, I tried to tell you not you fools listening, not y'all fools listening, the other fools that are on the internet. But truly, is what good has come out of it? What good has come out of cutting Cam Newton? And now, look, the same squad is trying to cut Teddy Bridgewater, bro. It's not me. It's not me.
Well, listen, we wanted, just about, maybe not all the fan base, most of the fan base wanted to roll with Cam Newton for another year. But the fact of the matter is, if it was a Teddy Bridgewater signing or not, David Tepper was not going to have another year of Cam Newton.
Then he made two mistakes. Is that one mistake or two mistakes? How about no? I think it's two mistakes at that point. I think it is two mistakes.
How is that two mistakes?
One mistake is cutting Cam. All right, so fine. You disagree with me that a second mistake is signing Teddy Bridgewater to that deal.
Yeah, but
we can disagree. As you could disagree and say it's one mistake, I think it's two mistakes.
No, but I think you're attributing two different mistakes to one person, when I think it's two. I think Marty Hurney is the one that signed that terrible ass contract to Teddy Bridgewater to save his fucking job.
No.
And David Tepper was the one that gave Cam Newton his walking papers.
No, this is Tepper. Tepper. I ain't
David Tepper chose to pay Teddy Bridgewater that much money. No, why would David Tepper do that? Marty Hurney knew his ass was on the line So he signed a quarterback that he thought was going to obviously be better than what he was. But yeah, it's the point that you just made. You don't sign a stopgap quarterback to 3 years, $60-something million. You just don't fucking do it. That is a Marty Hurney move. I promise you it was. That's not David Tepper. David Tepper got rid of Cam Newton for sure. But he didn't pay that money to Bridgewater. He just
CK, I'm going to play the next call unless you want to tie break this.
No, you guys. I mean, yeah, that's you go and play it, man.
All right,
nobody wins in this debate.
I win, but he doesn't.
Hello, everybody. It is C-double-J John Jenkins, chairman of the PJ Walker Fan Club. I just wanted to wish everybody a happy spring break up here in Chapel Hill, where we're starting out.
Chapel Hill?
Here
I thought you were in Colorado.
Free mulch from the free mulch place. And I just want to tell you guys how happy I am that we can now not worry about getting one of those quarterbacks, and we can start my guy, PJ, the Walker Wonder. I hope you're all ready to witness the Walker Wonder. Hashtag WTWW.
Witness the Walker Wonder. He got that. So hold on, I'm going to play that part again. What did we say?
The Walker Wonder. I hope you're all ready to witness the Walker Wonder. Hashtag WTWW. Let me try that again. Hashtag WTWW.
Witness the what?
And this grilled cheese is done.
Wait a second. I don't even get it. I thought
Witness the PJ Walker Wonder. Witness the Walker Wonder.
Oh, witness the Walker Wonder. He needs to do the P in there too, because it's so important to his name. But anyway, I won against Cody Lashney. Don't let him.
You've never won against Cody.
Yes, bro. I've won.
It's never happened.
Next call.
Hey, it's Sweet Double J. John
WWD.
Chairman of the PJ Walker Fan Club. Calling back once again. I had to give a shout out to my man
Tony.
Yeah, I just forgot your name again. But you were like the last call of the Friday show. And your logic was sound, man. Sound logic. Beef up that O-line. Hell, I mean, if we had a good O-line, I agree with you. Petty would look good. But I'm telling you, it is time to witness that Walker Wonder. But truly, what I would rather witness is sound.
I'm bumping you in this. I'm gonna push you in this. I don't want to hear. And I love the people that look. I understand the difference between value guy and draft QB guy. Like, I understand there's a reality in the middle between the guy that says, no, we're going to have to wait. It's not our time. And then the other guy says we have to get a quarterback until we get a quarterback. I think you're right, Cody, is that we have to be able to think of we can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. We can do both at the same time. Like, there's no reason to believe that because we are searching for this quarterback, because we're trying to aggressively find that whatever answer is, that we can't strengthen our team in other ways. To me, that's kind of a false, like it's an unnecessary restriction on the equation.
I believe it to an even stronger degree, man. Like, that's why I'm not really even concerned with giving up first-round picks. Like, okay, if it was the same scenario where Carolina moved from 8 to 3 and we gave up 3 first-round picks and like a second next year or whatever, like, that's so worth it to me. Not only do we get to keep the entirety of this year's draft the same, but if we take a meaningful step forward next year and everyone sees that we have
it's like a 27th pick.
Well, but even still, like, what people don't understand is that then your free agency changes everything. I think right now the Panthers are still like top 5 in terms of free agency money, which is kind of crazy. I don't know how we did it, but we have a lot of money to spend.
No, that don't matter. It don't matter. It's a bad year to look at.
The point I'm trying to make is that if we were able to carry that money over into next season, and we're missing on 2 first-round picks, a bunch of other good free agent players are going to want to come here. And that's going to help fill out rosters in times that you don't have a first-round pick. So I'm 100% on that train, man. I really do think that you can address all these positions, including the quarterback, and still be able to build your roster and not have to hold on to this mindset of, oh, well, if we trade up to get a quarterback, then we're not going to be able to fill out the rest of the football team. That just isn't true.
I agree. And one other point, or a couple other points that I think are relevant to it. A lot of times they say this is that this team traded 3 first-round picks for this pick. But if we traded our 3, it's only 2. Like, I feel like it's a poor way of stating what happens, right? So if the Panthers were to trade from 8 to 3, and then we traded our next 2-year picks, yes, we traded this year's and the next 2 years, but they also traded their first year. So it's really only effectively 2 first-round picks, right? I mean, because you're getting one. So I don't think that's a fair way of describing it. On top of that, you don't really want to be picking in the top 10 very often.
No.
And one of the problems for the Carolina Panthers is for a couple of years, they weren't picking in the top 10. They're actually picking in the bottom 10. Right?
Yeah.
And let me remind you of those picks. Vernon Butler, Kelvin Benjamin, Shaq Thompson. I don't even remember if there's any other top in the deep 20s. But what are we trying to say here is that we're scared of potentially sacrificing a Kelvin Benjamin, right? Because like if all of a sudden if you're in the top 10 now, we're like 3 or 4, we're 2 or 3 games away from being a 19 pick. You know,
we're not.
And this window was here 2 years in a row. And I think I'm actually going to call David Tepper and all those fools out. They missed their opportunity last year. You wanted to cut Cam. And turn a new page. You missed your damn opportunity last year. And now where the buffet is rich as fuck. And guess what? We got muscled out by some hungry ass bitch, the San Francisco 49ers. So you know what? I think we missed the opportunity last year. We have made more mistakes on the football side operation since David Tepper came in than we want to admit. CK, am I being too harsh?
I mean, I don't think it's.
Oh, I'm putting you on there. He's like, I'm trying to be balanced, fair and balanced.
I mean, I don't think you're being too harsh. I think that these things have layers and they're a little more complicated. But I mean, when you look at the hardest part about this entire endeavor is we would be in such a better place, so much better place, if Cam didn't get cut last year. Like, I agree 100% with that. That was a decision that was made at the top, hands down. It wasn't just a rule making that. Tepper was in on that decision. You can sit here and blame Marty Herney. You could blame all these other people, but we know that it boiled down to Tepper. And we could see it in that all or nothing, right? When he said, and that wasn't when Cam got cut, but he said, this is something's got to give. Like, we can't continue doing this. Like, and the fact that it happened the next year, right after that happened, I mean, I understand Tepper's frustration, but it makes it so frustrating for us because we realize our situation today is 10 times worse because of that decision. And that is where, that's where I think that you're right. I mean, we have to be as critical as we possibly can be in that because it's impacting our team, and it will continue to impact our team for the next couple of years.
This is why I don't want to exonerate Marty Herney, bro. Marty Herney is a bitch boy. That's what we've learned. We learned that is not. Yeah, well, no, but look, as you tried to say this was his decision. No, you tried to say this was his decision, that he was the one. No, you know what? He just did what Jerry Richardson told him to do. Now he just did what David Tepper and Matt Rule told him to do. Fuck that. Do not let Marty Hurney just be a guy that takes all the drubbing. I say the same amount goes on David Tepper and the same amount goes on Matt Rule. All of that. None of those. You think
the same amount goes to Matt Rule as it does to Marty Hurney
and Joe Brady?
No.
Yes. 100.
No.
100. You're trying to tell me no, you are 100 trying to tell me that they signed a guy that was going to be the head coach to 8 years, $64 million, that he was going to be like, no, oh, well, I guess thank you for Teddy Bridgewater. No, they
Matt
told
Rule says he doesn't want to be the GM.
Marty Hurney is a yes man, bro. They told him what to do, and he said, yes, sir, jump so high.
You're taking away all of his responsibility for all of his shitty actions.
You are exonerating.
No, you are. You're saying that it was that David Tepper and Matt Rule.
Guess who's not there no more? Guess who's not there no more?
Yeah, because he didn't sign a 7-year contract worth fucking $1 billion.
Man, I'm sorry, bro. You want to find an easy out on Marty Hurney. Marty Hurney is just a pimp, bro.
Marty
Hurney was just a pimp.
Marty Hurney
he's just making the dough.
And both of his tenures
Marty Hurney was just making the dough. He didn't do it great or didn't bad. I won't say he was the best pimp in the world or the best. He was doing what
There's a reason that he came in after they fired Gettleman for making moves. There's a reason Gettleman left, and that is because he was doing things that the owner didn't want. And there's a reason Marty Hurney was brought back is because he would do what the owner wanted. Like, that's bottom line. And we saw that, at the end of the day, we saw it. And so the part of it that I think, Cody, you guys you're so funny because you're right on the same line. You both are blaming Marty Hurney in different ways. Right. Whereas Tony, you're blaming Marty Hurney for not actually standing up for
what he should have done,
what he wanted to do. Right?
You're right.
Whereas Cody, you're saying that Marty Hurney is bad because
he was the cause.
He was the only reason that we did this, and we know that it.
Well, my wife, bro.
When you're saying that Marty Hurney had better insight, but because he's a lapdog, just chose not to do it.
No, not that. Tell him.
No, it's simple. It's simple as this. Close. He didn't have to think about it. I made this comparison during the off season. I imagined Marty Hurney was back there playing Tetris, and all he did was wait for the orders to come across his desk. He didn't have to think. He didn't have to do anything. He just was the bad guy.
He was eating meatballs, and David Tepper said, hire Matt Rule.
You're just absolving him of all of his actions.
You're absolving Joe Brady. And no. Guess who you ain't said? You ain't said Joe Brady's name. You ain't said Matt Rule's name.
It was their first year. They were just hired. Marty Hurney has been a part of this team for how many years? Years.
But you know that. Hey, hold on. We know. Listen.
Now you're really starting to be.
They didn't fight.
On this Hill shirt is starting to take a different. I'm about to sword chop you on this Hill.
No, you don't want it. You don't want it. I'm telling you, Marty Hurney. You are absolving him.
No, don't even steal my words. Now you're stealing my own words. I mean, I started using the word absolve. You don't get to use it.
Bro.
All right. The number is 252-228-5098. You're wrong, man. You're wrong.
I'm not. You're absolving.
Caller from Spruce Pond. So, I just wanted to call and talk a little bit about
settle us down.
How screwed we are.
So with San Francisco trading up,
did you hear
more or
that?
less screams,
How screwed we are.
we're not going to have a quarterbacks draft. I don't know how many times this has happened in league history, but I do see 3 quarterbacks coming off the board with the top 3 picks, and that would probably leave us with our only option being Mac Jones. And I don't know if y'all saw his pro day. Actually, I know y'all saw his pro day because I listened to the last podcast, but probably the worst pro day I think I've ever seen.
Oh, I know. It was bad.
That's not something I want to be stuck with. And I did see something that came out that said the Panthers didn't view Mac Jones as first-round quarterback. So we're screwed pretty much. And from the beginning, I've never believed that we were going to land Deshaun Watson, especially with all these allegations and everything else. Yeah, we could pull the trigger on it. I just don't think we have the assets it takes to get him or to pry him from Houston. I like what Scott Fitter has done in free agency up to this point. I just, we really screwed ourselves with the Washington game. We could be in a great position for a future, but I think at some point, like right now, you've got to think about doing something similar that the Dolphins did. Trade your asset to prepare for the future. Trade DJ Moore, Taylor Moton, Dante Jackson. I don't know. You're probably going to have to give up some pieces that you don't want to give up, but it's probably something that we're going to have to do. First round pick this year, and trade back and build up your first round pick so that in the future you might be able to jump up and get a quarterback. And, we've got quite a bit of cap space right now. And next year, if the cap goes up, we'll have a lot more. So if you do that, we're just going to have a lot more room for cap. And, yeah, we're screwed pretty much. So it sucks, but as Panther fans, we're kind of used to this type of thing, and yeah, we'll just keep pounding.
Keep pounding. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to deny that there is a large portion of the fan base that wants to do that, and specifically wanted to trade down. But CK, I don't think any Panther fan is ready to really undergo what Jacksonville did, and that was tank. They got rid of Jalen Ramsey. They cut Leonard Fournette. They cut a bunch of players. They traded Yannick Ngakoue. Like, they revamped that entire roster.
You've got to keep in mind that wasn't like that had a lot to do with those players not wanting to be there, in their opinion of Leonard Fournette. Right? I mean, I agree. I don't want to go through what the Jaguars went through. Right? Because we've pretty much been doing that. I mean, this year we weren't that far behind where the Jags were. It just sucks that we ended where we did. There's just a frustrating thing about it. But if you go back, Ramsey wanted out. All of these people wanted out of wanted out of the Jags, and I think it boils down to the fact that there was a team there that was just not a great place for players to start to develop. And right now, this year, yes, they tanked. They got their guy. I don't know what else they have. I mean, I know they've been signing some little things here and there, but outside of that, their team isn't impressive, even if they get Trevor Lawrence on the squad.
But no, that's not true. Because listen, whether or not they wanted to be there or not, all those players left, and they have a bunch of money and assets and draft picks to use to rebuild that culture. So yeah, they wanted to leave. It doesn't change the fact that they got to get draft picks and they got to do all the things that they have to do to rebuild the football team. Now, if we're doing that, then we're trying to undergo like a tank for DJ Uiagalelei in 2023. But I don't think that's what the caller was talking about. He was mainly just talking about, moving back this year, and he mentioned the Dolphins and doing what they did, but again, the Dolphins traded away Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
The Dolphins did this thing too.
And what is Minkah Fitzpatrick doing right now then?
Well, he's much better with the Steelers than he was with the Dolphins.
It's kind of interesting. One thing is interesting about the Dolphins situation is they've traded away very high-profile picks and names. I don't know if Larry Tunsil gone. It's like I mean, they all of a sudden we don't hear about them as much, and Fitzpatrick might not be as equivalent to Tunsil. Did you see the Tunsil tweet where he was laughing at the dudes that they put a statue outside of him in the Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny, bro.
Can you imagine?
He was like, I got you. I made your team. But think about this, is that we're making fun of him. How about this? The irony that we make fun of Tunsil taking that bonk hit on the gas mask and this and that. And he turns up ruining the Dolphins, basically. And now Deshaun Watson is in this mess. Like, Deshaun Watson would be so much cooler if he would have just taken a bonk hit out of a gas mask.
What if, listen to this. I mean, because basically right now, the Houston Texans traded for Tunsil for the first round pick this year, right? That was the trade, if I'm not mistaken. That's why the Dolphins had the third round pick.
Cody,
the Dolphins. The Dolphins had
they got the Texans first round pick for Tunsil.
Yeah, but so and it was in 2016. He was supposed to go top 5. The bong mask thing came out. He fell to like 17 or 18, and then about 2 years in, they traded him to Houston for I think 2 first round picks.
And this is the last year for that.
No. See, this is the thing. A good GM, which is what they have. I don't even know the guy's name, but he has used the picks that they have obtained from that Houston trade, from that Tunsil trade, to make a whole bunch of other trades and moves up and down. So, like, they have 2 first round picks next year also. And I even think some in 2023. I don't know the entire timeline of events, but everything that happened because of that Laramie Tunsil trade and all of the plethora of draft picks that they have now is because they decided to move on from Laramie Tunsil.
Look, J-Dub is my boy. I'm going to tell you this. J-Dub has been my friend on this show for a long time. Talking like 7 years. So I got no hate against my man. But I got a question for him when it comes to this quarterback mess. Right? Is that ultimately his argument is this: that at some point it's just better to build your team than to get the quarterback, right? Like, I mean, don't give up too much to get a guy. My question about this that continues to be is why is that if you're a top 3 team, top 4 team, you don't say, you know what, we're going to build our team. It's not the right year for us to get a quarterback. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, isn't Justin Fields just a big enough risk at 3 as he is at 8? Isn't Zach Wilson just a big enough risk as he is at 2 as he is at 4? Right? But would you tell the Jets right now, nah, just draft a corner?
No, nobody would say that.
You know, would you tell the Jacksonville Jaguars that? Would you tell? Guess what teams you tell that to? A team that already has their quarterback. That's who you tell it to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're Seattle and you have Russell Wilson and somehow you find yourself at the top 10, guess what? You don't draft a damn running back.
Yeah, man. You're preaching.
So I feel like I have learned. Maybe I have learned I've listened too much to you, Cody. I'm kind of starting to think. I get angry. I'm walking around. I'm like, maybe his language is beating to my head too much. But I'm with you.
I'm wearing
until
off
we
on you.
got our dude, until I sit on your porch.
Yeah.
What do I say? Until I tell you we're going to be sitting on your porch next year or the year after, 1 year in the next 10 years.
And you tell me, I believe that we can win because insert franchise quarterback here and playing on the fucking field, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And yeah, we need that. Hopefully we can get that this year.
All right, next call.
Hey guys, it's Jedi Jor. Just calling in. Looking forward to the show tonight. So I'm listening to the Bill Simmons podcast right now, and they were making a point about Gardner Minshew and how he might. They were talking about the Patriots, of course, and how he might be a good fit there. But they were making a point that over the last 2 years, he has 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's like a 5th-round pick, so he wouldn't be that expensive, and he's only 24. So possibly, getting a guy like that for, maybe like a 3rd-round pick or something, because Jacksonville is going to Trevor Lawrence. Maybe he might be, a good fit for us here in Carolina. Just wanted to see what you guys thought about that. Look forward to the show.
I'm going to let you start it. Oh, you don't like it?
No. I mean, we're basically moving from one backup quarterback to another. I mean, the reality is he's still not. I mean, he's managed to keep games in contention from time to time, but at the bottom of the, if you look at the stats just straight up, I mean, the dude's just not a franchise quarterback, and trying to paint him as something that is even in the vicinity of being a franchise quarterback is, and in trading any draft picks is a reach. He's a great. I mean, I think he's an opportunity for a backup quarterback. But I think
is he not free agent, or is he a trade acquisition?
I think it would have to be a trade. I think he's still. This might be his 4th year.
That makes a difference. That makes a big difference if that's the case.
Unless they just release him, which I mean, I don't think they would. I think they hold him as a decent backup who knows the starting, the playbook and everything. I mean, it's a guy that, yes, as far as like just being charismatic and just hilarious. I mean, that's awesome. But are you going to sit on the porch at Cody's house and feel like you got your guy if Gardner Minshew is the starting quarterback?
First of all, I would be excited if Gardner Minshew was quarterback because he's got the D that Teddy B D should have. Like he doesn't. I mean, look. And on top of that, my man, he used to play at East Carolina University.
I was waiting for that. That's the only.
It's not the only thing. It's the mustache. It's the jorts. It's the style. He is the white. He's stylistically the white Cam Newton.
Oh, stop it.
Not the football player.
Stop
the
it.
football player.
No.
Yes, he brings his. Who else is it? Don't try to.
Tony,
who else is
how
it?
dare you even put the swag of
He's
Cam
the
Newton
well.
is saying that Gardner Minshew is anywhere near the level
he's the
of style that Cam
he's the Joe
Newton
Dirt
does?
of quarterbacks. Like it's not even close.
Bro, Tony, ice up, son. Ice up.
He has his own style, homie. You're trying to tell me. Okay, so my man, you're trying to tell me. All right, that's fine. You tell me that he's got the Joe Dirt style. Then Cam Newton got the Medea style. And guess what? I dressed up as Medea. I went to games like this. I got no problem with it. These mugs, he is the stylistically, he's got an edge to him that's fun.
Yeah, but that's the extent of why you would want him as a quarterback. Like you have no.
Wait, how about this? I'd way more like to have him than child person Teddy Bridgewater minivan.
I don't disagree. I would rather have him over
kind of my
Teddy.
point.
But
I have a mustache. Let me play quarterback.
But I'm just, at the end of the day, I think if we're talking about trading for him or signing him with the intentions of starting him as the guy moving forward,
I agree with you there. I agree with you there. Like, there's no point. It's like lateral moves at that point. I do agree with that. All right. 252-228-5098. You got to smash that thumbs up button. Cody. Actually, not Cody. The other Cody. CK. Subscriber shame on.
Subscriber shame.
Oh, auto-tune that bitch. Let's go. Hey, man.
Hailing all the way from his mother's womb. It's your boy Mike, a.k.a. Supreme.
Hell yeah, brother.
Long time no talk.
I know. Where you been?
Supreme, what
I've
up?
been driving Uber lately. It's pretty cool. Just wanted, a little side hustle joint. 1,000 people, over 1,000 people died in drunk driving deaths in South Carolina last year. So maybe I can make a dent in that.
Call the Uber. Call Supreme League.
So
me too. I'm gonna call
going
Uber.
on. Seems like we've royally effed ourselves. I believe the Niners fell in love with Trey Lance. So Kyle Shanahan is just, drooling at the thought of using him in his offense. So it looks like it's going to be Lawrence, Wilson, and Lance, and I could see Justin Fields falling. He will not fall to us at 8, no doubt, because you got the Broncos and the Bears, the Patriots. They're all lurking in the shadows, waiting to jump in front of us too. And might have to get on that Darnold train. I'm not giving up anything more than a 4 for him. We've got 2 third-round.
I like this call.
We got an extra compensatory pick this year, so I'd squeeze a 3rd in there. I'd want like a 6th or a 7th back or something, but no more than that. Well, boys, Atlanta holds the cards now because whatever they decide to do is gonna dictate the rest of the top 10. So fuck. We'll see what happens.
Fuck.
Here, let me try my best growl for you guys before I get out of here. Oh.
No. Oh, Supreme Leader had his growl cut. You hate to see it.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's tough.
This all boils down to a couple things.
That was not impressive.
This all boils down to something. You guys, so we all agree we loved Cam Newton. And right now, I just have an important question. Do you believe in life after love?
No, not until we meet our next love. Look.
All right, I'll stop.
He is trying to auto-tune his own voice. Stop.
Hey, man, hey, stop. Hey, man.
Stop, man.
Hey, I ain't got money for auto-tune, boy. I got my natural God-given.
That's why we got CK. Hey, man. That's why we got CK.
That's true.
You don't auto-tune. You just stay with your own salty ass self.
Man, you're just mad because you lose every debate that you've ever had with me, and that's okay, man.
Such a lie.
It's
That's
okay.
the biggest lie I've ever heard.
Whatever. The one thing we do agree on, and I think that all of us don't want to agree on, but we have to agree on, is that Atlanta holds the fucking cards, man.
That's right. He's 100 right on that. That's why I'm saying if they don't draft, they should draft a quarterback to F everybody else.
Yeah.
They really should. Like, I mean, anything else they do only barely helps their team.
Or to just even if they don't, I think it would be an even bigger slap in the face just to deny us
That's what I'm
you know
saying.
they're not going to trade.
Yeah, that's the same thing,
but
right?
They'll
If they
move back.
draft,
They'll move back with someone else looking to move up to 4. In fact, I'll call it. I bet you that's what happens. The 49ers, the 49ers, yeah, and knowing that the Denver beat us before in the Super Bowl, they're gonna be salty and try and rub salt in the wounds. Hey man, this is the reality of Panther fandom right now. We are probably gonna miss our quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Unless some miracle happens.
Please check out CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Put up a story about the Carolina Panthers signing Micah Simon today. Actually, we should talk about this real quick before we get the next call. Micah Simmons, Zach Wilson is the star of the BYU Pro Day. I mean, we've all been wanting to watch him. Everybody says he's amazing. He has his ascendancy to the number 2 spot has been so remarkable. He's a shooting star. He's a shooting star to number 2 to the Jets. And while Deshaun Watson's saga has seemingly secured him or rooted him into that number 2 spot, everybody wanted to watch his pro day. And then we learn in a tweet today from, I believe it was Mike Pelissaro, as the person I sourced on the story at CarolinaCatChronicles.com, is that the Carolina Panthers signed a gentleman by the name of Micah Simon, who was working out at Zach Wilson's pro day. He's 6'1". He was 185 pounds a year and a half ago. He put up 7 catches for 127 yards in the upset of BYU over Tennessee. He was a boss. And today, or recently, when did Zach Wilson throw? A couple of days ago? Mm-hmm. He ran a 4.3 dime at 6'1". His name's Micah Simon, and the Carolina Panthers signed him, and now they have him for a league minimum 3-year deal. And he's walking into that receiver room saying, "I'm fast as Curtis Samuel, bitches."
Who's saying they're fast as Curtis Samuel?
Micah Simon is. He ran a 4.39.
But yeah, my thing is this though.
No, I mean, if you ran, you're gonna tell me that Curtis Samuel was the fastest mug in the world. What he run? 4.39 is straight, bro. Actually, it was a 4.34, I think.
But can he?
It was something even better than that.
Like my thing is this, so I just know
7 catches, 127 yards. Yeah, he can play all right. And he's bigger, taller. Why are you shitting on him, man? The Panthers,
because, it's a good body to have on the team. Hopefully, it turns into something.
He's so fast, I haven't ever heard of him
before. Yeah, but okay,
fine. I didn't hear of Zach Wilson before this year.
You can be fast as shit and not know how to play a lick of receiver. Not know how to get in and out of your brains. Not having good hip move. You might be fast and you might be fast in a straight line.
4.34, bro. He's 6'1", 190. I don't give a fuck. That's like beating John Ross. They just picked him up. They picked him up for a bag of Doritos today.
Yeah, that's why I'm not mad. That's what I'm saying. This is
you are mad. You're not even impressed.
What I'm saying is just a signing. Like, are you excited about this?
Yeah.
Really, this changes our football team in some meaningful way. He might not even be on the team next.
He's going to learn wide receiver.
He's going to learn under Robbie Anderson. He's going to be the next Robbie Anderson, bro.
Dude, you're living on some other shit right now.
Right now, at best, he's a camp body. I think right now.
100%.
I mean, until we see something else, he is basically there to fill a roster spot.
Y'all are so half full.
If you run a 4.34 and you're not a name like player by this point in your career, then there's something wrong with your game. That's something that we don't know.
Could you not say that
hold on.
about?
Are you
Could
talking
you
about John
not
Ross?
say about Trey Lance? Could you not say the same shit about Trey Lance? And by the way, the only reason you don't know him is because he didn't have a pro day because it was canceled because of COVID last year. He went undrafted. He was from North Dakota State. So here, if you love Trey Lance, you can't hate this dude. That's my thing. If you like Trey Lance, you can't hate this
Not
dude.
even remotely.
Yes, it is. Oh my God. It's
not
bigger.
remotely
It's the
the
same
same
exact
thing.
argument.
Oh my God.
No, now I'm
No,
not.
it isn't.
Blake Bettis is watching the show right now. Cancel the T-shirt I was going to ask him about.
Dude, did you really
Cancel
want
the
to
T-shirt.
another
We are
debate
not
on
down
this?
on that hill together,
It's
bro.
not
Cancel
even
the T-shirt,
remotely
Blake.
the same. Not remotely
Cancel the
same.
T-shirt. Blake, I was going to ask him, and I was going to talk to him about it. Cancel it. We ain't doing that T-shirt. No more. We having a couples fight right now.
Yo, Blake is my boy too. I want him to make
That's fine. That's why we're having a couple. That's why we're having a couples fight over this.
Jedi Joy.
Yeah, make that shit,
Just calling in. Looking forward to the show tonight.
Did we hear this one?
So I'm listening to the Bill Simmons podcast right now.
Yeah, we did.
And they were making a point.
Next one.
Hailing all the way from
Did we hear this
his
one too?
mother's womb.
Yep, I heard that one. All right,
Yeah.
next one.
Hey guys, longtime
I'm
listener
so
from the
angry.
Northwest. I just wanted to call in and say I love your guys' show. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you.
You know, and kind of the other thing, like I just finished listening to your guys' podcast over the 49ers trade, and frankly, you know, it seems like there's a lot of animosity towards Rule or the general manager, but the blame for this entire situation falls on David Tepper. It's at his feet. He could have fired Marty Herney in 2019 at the end of that season. Had he done that, hey, he might have brought in a competent GM, like right off the bat. Maybe hire a coach that hadn't just come from the college ranks. Because I'm sorry, you know, Rule hasn't shown me anything that makes me think he's a competent head coach in the NFL.
Greg,
that's just.
So
and
happy.
granted, you know, the first big signing made was Teddy, so whatever. But I just kind of think, like, you know, if we went into last season and they had actually done it correctly, you know, traded CMC because at peak value, when you probably could have got a first rounder out of it, traded Curtis Samuel if you weren't going to re-sign him, maybe got Taylor Moton extended.
This is our next
maybe
GM,
actually,
bro.
you know, probably still cut Cam because he looks. I mean, let's be frank, he looks washed at this point. But I think the reality of the matter is we're probably a 6-10 to 9-17 next year. It's not going to be good enough to get a quarterback, and there's not really any quarterbacks coming in the 2022 class. I mean, we're probably in purgatory. I mean, we might be in a situation where they have to extend Teddy. I mean, that's just the reality.
Extend him?
Yeah.
No. All right, this was about to be the best call of the night. It was about to be the best call of the night.
Extend
Until he
him? I
said
barely know
extend Teddy. No, he was right 100 on all the other stuff. 100 until that point. No, we got to get rid of Teddy and not extend him.
Yeah. I think the main point that he is trying to relay, and one that I think is entirely possible, man, and Panther fans might not really want to hear this, but if we're not able to navigate this time correctly, yeah, we could absolutely be in another situation like the Bears. Just having a really good roster that doesn't.
No, we're not even close to the
take the next
Bears.
step forward. And well, if we have another draft of defensive players and we upgrade our left tackle position, I'm telling you, man, this team is not as far away as some people want to believe it is.
I want to not remember. Actually, I should remember value guy. I should remind value guy this. Is that the Carolina Panthers have had 2 runs in their history as a team. And to be fair to the Panthers team, that's a lot more runs than other teams have had with far more time. right? But the Carolina Panthers start with 95. So we're at a 24-year, like, what we hit? The 95, 2005. Like, we're about what was it? Tell me. You guys tell me. 25 years as a franchise. A couple more than that. Couple more than that. We've had two significant.
Didn't we come in 1993? Yeah. 1993 was
this is where I don't understand this because I was like a baby at those times, but like they count, some people count the years that like Jerry Richardson like found it on paper or something. But tell me, where the first game they played? Ultimately, how about this? Let's not quibble over how many years it was, but it was about 26 years ago, 27 years ago, right? Because we were at the 25 point. Who cares? My point being is this. In under 30 years, right, around the 25-year point, we've had two quarterbacks that have brought us potentially to the moment of buying the chip, of getting the chip. One was Jake Delhomme and one was Cam Newton, right? Does anybody want to argue about that? Can we argue about 95 is the inaugural season? Thank you. So 2005, well, 2015 is 20.
Yeah, 2000.
We're at 26, 27. What is that? What? Well, I don't even know. Y'all
1995 is the inaugural season. So
95, 96, 97, 98, 99. 2000, 2001, 2003, 2002, 2003, 2004. How many years is that? I am drinking red wine, man. But my point is this. I don't give a fuck. Like, is it 26 or 27? Is it 25? I don't care. Tell me. You guys tell me.
It's 26. It's 26.
Okay. Thank you. 26 years. 26 years as a franchise. And guess how many quarterbacks we have had that have taken us closely to the chip? Two.
Yeah.
Jake Delhomme and Cam Newton. One was a guy who they did not want to start. They didn't want to play. They brought him in from the Saints. They wanted to play Rodney Peete. They wanted to do all of this and that. Jake Delhomme is value guy. He is value guy. Cam Newton is draft guy. And guess what? We never were able to put the team around either of them. So this is kind of where the Achilles heel to me is, or the fallacy in the value guy argument is. We tried it with value guy. Didn't work. We tried it with draft guy, but we didn't put the parts around him to try to make it work. So I don't know what other than this, is that why would you not pick the best player on the field? Why? Why would you try to go in? CK, why would you go and try to play Call of Duty or Modern Warfare, whatever it is, with a weapon that is inferior? Why would you do it? Why wouldn't you just pick the best weapon from the top?
Just the only reason that makes sense is if you're trying to challenge yourself to do something different. But that'd be the only reason.
All right. That's what I'm trying to say, man. Is that where is value got? Why didn't it work then? You know, why don't you? Why isn't San Francisco? Why isn't San Francisco trying to put a corner there? Why isn't? Because that's what I'm saying. Is value guy is a luck. It's like a crapshoot. It's like hitting Keno at the bar. It's all just. It's like, yes. Was Jake Delhomme pretty good or very good? Yes, he was one of the better quarterbacks we've ever had, but he won't the top of the top. It just won't. And I'm happy to have Jake Delhomme. I don't want to not have Jake Delhomme, but if I have my choice between Jake Delhomme and Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to pick Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Sorry. My bad. My bad. Is that too much?
No.
No, you want to fight about it? No, I'm just kidding. No, you don't. See, look, Cody don't have a strong opinion about it because he wasn't born when Jake Delhomme was.
I mean, he was born. He just wasn't focused on the Panthers.
You're right. And I tell you this is I'm so grateful for Jake Delhomme. I am. Like he's the opposite of Teddy Bridgewater. And how about that? Remember that, Teddy Bridgewater fans. Jake Delhomme had the guts to throw it. That's what Jake Delhomme did. He came into a situation where he was not supposed to be the starting quarterback, where he was a guy that was underestimated the entire time, a guy that nobody believed in too. You know what? But he just chucked it. He was like, you know what? Single coverage, bam, touchdown, bam. Like he did it. I'm telling you, I would take Jake Delhomme in a game every day over Teddy Bridgewater. And for you Teddy Bridgewater defenders, that's the point. That's the point. We were lucky to get Jake Delhomme. We didn't go out and court him with $1 bazillion. All right. 252-228-5098.
Set the scene. 7:03 p.m. Mr. and Miss Tony Dunn go into the city for a beautiful dinner at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
We got an argument
Beautiful
tonight.
area, beautiful restaurant, decorated up nice, dressed up to the nines. And, then Tony gets to sit down, pulls his chair out for his wife. I am Tony Dunn's thoughts. I wonder if I put this menu in front of my face, if my wife will notice me picking my nose.
Go for it anyway. Do it, brother.
Staring off into the distance.
We got an argument tonight, too. That's why I was late.
Oh, Dave, hey, I think I'll order the steak. 7:37 p.m. Tony Dunn is excited and takes his first bite of steak.
Mm-hmm.
This steak, babe, it has no flavor. And there's a lot of fat on
I
it.
got coronavirus.
Tony Dunn's wife. Well, baby, do you want to send it back? I pause for the laughter, thank you. I give you that beautiful piece of imagery to use this metaphor. The 49ers are Ruth Chris Steakhouse, a dope team that resembles the restaurant, and the extra fat, flavorless steak is a dad bod whack Jones.
Now, way to bring it back around,
take a bite, and it's a a steak, and there's no flavor. So you take another bite, you think that might be a fluke. Same result. It has the attributes, but still no flavor. Now, there's a difference between acceptable and exceptional. I gotta credit my man Daniel Jeremiah for that one. There's no chance John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan take whack Jones at 3. Kyle Shanahan has lost 2 Super Bowls with pocket boring quarterbacks. The old chicken head Matt Ryan and Jimmy Garoppolo. Do you not think they spent all of this money to go to a nice dinner 9 picks away from where they were already to get an under-seasoned fatty steak? I don't think so. They're salivating over all these real top 4 juicy, flavorful steaks at pick 3. These 2 boys have the NFL on a smoke screen, ladies. Masters of deception. All this Mac Jones talk is to try and raise the stock so they can get their real guy.
Blake Bettis is peering into my life a little too deeply. That's where I'm a little upset by that call. Is that he's a little too deep on that life. Except I'll be like, "Oh, you're missing your state back." That's kind of about my wife.
I thought it was you for a minute when he did that impersonation. I'm like, damn, that sounds just like.
I know. All right. I do want to call out. What did J Dub say? J Dub said, if you could name all 5 starters, like then, blah blah blah. I would like for anybody to name the Panthers offensive line start to bottom forever. And I'm talking about good like in the moment. Like rarely could we just and look, and I'm even calling J-Dub out. Like we watch this stuff, we watch every game. You know, we read as many articles as we can. We can't say we're partial fans. And I'm not saying he's trying to call me out or nothing like that. But like at any point could you name all 5 starters, period. But last year, actually, let's do this, is Trent Scott, Taylor Moton,
Matt
Paradis is 3. Then we go John Miller. And then we just got to find that left guard.
And the left tackle. Who played left tackle?
No, because the left tackle was, I thought we already said
Okun. No, it was Okun.
But that was to start the beginning of the year. I thought Trent Scott was a left tackle at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying?
We had like 3 different people play left tackle at one point.
Yes, and that's kind of interesting, or my point when it comes to the offensive line is like, yeah, I would love to be able to tell you all 5 starters all year long. But when was the last time we had an offensive line that was worth telling their names, A, and B, that stayed with their names to the end? And interestingly, it was 2015 where we had Michael Orr on the left. We had Mike Remmers on the right. We had Trey Turner at guard. We had Andrew Norwell. And we had Ryan Khalil. All 5.
Yeah, that was a few years during that 2000.
So that was only, I don't know, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not like that now.
My bad. 6 years ago.
How many calls we got left?
10:57.
A billion.
No, we don't.
Just kidding. I just wanted to say I forgot the disclaimer on my story. You know, I can't leave you with that piece of imagery without a disclaimer. There were no quarterbacks harmed in the making of this network. Blake B signing off. Perfect.
All right. Next call.
Hey guys, Sucks from Elizabeth City one more time here. Just kind of want to get everybody's opinion, what you think about the 17-game season.
I missed your earlier
definitely go with one less preseason game.
Oh yeah, let's
I'm
talk
not
about
all
this
for
real
more
quick.
football. Another week, especially with it counting and meaning something. We kind of our whole existence, these 25, 26 years of a franchise, have been a meddling 500 team. So I'm hoping for more 9-8 or above seasons than 8-9 seasons or less. I guess that means Ron now will finish at 7-8 and 9 and win a division title for the football team. But anyway, thoughts on what you guys think about that? I think it's actually good. It could work to our benefit. And like I said, I'm excited to see more football. One more week of meaningful football, whatever that means. But just kind of get you guys' opinion on that.
Yeah, great call. 17-game season. So, are we getting an extra bye week with this?
I don't know. I know that they're shortening the preseason. That's really the justification for this. But this is an interesting conversation piece altogether with the fact that they've added Houston to the list. And, by all accounts, Panthers still aren't out of the Deshaun Watson talks. So
I'm in a weird spot with this because I know the players were down on it because it's another game of wear and tear that they're putting on their bodies. And honestly, preseason has nothing to do with it. Like, preseason is mainly for the guys that are trying to make the football team anyway. Like, the starters aren't really going out and putting wear and tear on their bodies during preseason. So the fact that it's still one bye week and that they didn't give teams another bye, like, I don't know, man. That just seems like it's almost too much. And we're going to have another scenario where teams are going to be resting players at the start of the season if they've already clinched. So then you run the risk of more games with not marquee players playing in the games.
That it's not even just that. It's now you have certain teams in the division are going to have more home field advantage games than outside of the than you do. Like for this year, we have 8 home games and 9 away games, right? So there's an unfair advantage there. But there's also a couple of questions that come into play is they haven't really addressed how players and how this impacts the cap. Do players still get paid the exact same amount and basically they're getting paid less for each game? Because normally they just get paid per game based on their salaries, the way that they're played out. So do they, if they've negotiated that contract, does that mean the cap is really up here instead of down here? I have an idea. If you're going to do this and they're not going to be able to get this done before the beginning of the season, I think that they need to increase the roster spots available through the year.
Yeah,
I think you need to. I think if you're going to add an extra game to this to allow people to actually feel like they're not playing, to have actual true rotational depth pieces, I think the roster needs to jump up to 63 instead of 53.
It's total bull crap that we all knew that the preseason was bull crap from the beginning, right? Is that they were playing their starters only for a quarter, a half, maybe at the most. They should have cut that down to 2 at the very minimum, and maybe even kept the season as it was. If I was the players, I may have been interested in that. But cutting the preseason down was necessary. But I also think what Cody is saying is absolutely important is why not add a second bye? Why not? Even if you don't cut the preseason down, if you don't do anything, here's the problem that the NFL dominates the headlines. They dominate everything. They dominate the TV. They dominate. It's awesome. But isn't it weird sometimes when 7 out of 10 games are played at 1:00 on a Sunday? Like, I don't even understand why wouldn't they add another buy-in? It would help the players. It would extend their TV ratings by a little bit. And as us trying to watch all these games for our fantasy football teams and this and that, we don't have to try to watch 7 games at one time. We can watch 3 games that week. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really lessen the football experience on a Sunday. The Sunday doesn't go from 10 games to 2 games. It goes from 10 games to 7 games at 1:00. And it's ridiculous when if you're a fantasy football player, you understand this. Isn't it weird sometimes when you play your players and the whole thing is over at 1:00?
Yeah.
It's wrong. I think it's an antiquated. That's the one thing the NFL has not caught up on. Add another bye in. Have 3 games at the 1:00, 3 games at the 4:00, and then everybody. And you know what? Your players stay healthier. People get ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. And I don't know how the 17th game wasn't a bargaining chip for them, and why people didn't see that as a legitimate conversation to have.
The whole thing, and this is what players are talking about. The reason that was voted yes on is because they gave them the ability to smoke pot. Like, they gave weed back. Like, that's the reason that they wanted. That was one of their main things. They should have given that, and they should have given that and the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's legal. And
I get it. I get what you're saying. And isn't that a crazy sacrifice?
It is,
Isn't it
especially
a
knowing where the
crazy
world's going.
sacrifice where you sacrifice logic for logic? That's what that is.
I could see depending upon how this year goes, I could see there being a scenario where the players decide to strike. You got to keep in mind the previous times that there's been, like the last CBA, that wasn't the players striking. That was the owners holding people back. That was not the players. It was obviously them not agreeing to the terms, but a lot of it, I could see the players deciding to go on strike at some point. Because the reality is they haven't given us a lot of information, so I'm not entirely sure how it works with the cap. Like if these guys are getting paid the same amount to work more like that, if their justification is that they're taking away a preseason and maybe they're adding, and maybe they talk about adding an
NFL
extra
can't
bye.
strike, man. NFL can't strike. They can't strike. All right, next call.
What's going on, C3 Nation? It's your boy Jay Anderson hitting you up.
What up, Jay?
Excuse me. Man, I just hope that somehow, some way that the 49ers take Matt Jones and just take Matt Jones so the Carolina Panthers wouldn't get him. And somehow the Carolina Panthers end up with either Trey Lance or Justin Fields. Justin Fields, I know it's pro day and pro day is pro day, but Justin Fields is a good quarterback. And he's somebody, I think if we get him, I will be hyped if we get him. I will be hyped if we get either Justin Fields or Trey Lance. So I'm hoping that the 49ers get Matt Jones. I'm hoping. Get your next time, quote unquote, Tom Brady. But I see a lot of people talking about if we don't get why get a quarterback, we could wait, we could get we could build our roster and get a quarterback later. But I don't think, to me, I haven't seen nobody next year from these quarterbacks that a team can actually say, well, we'll just wait, till next year to get our quarterback. I really don't see it. Sam Howell, I really don't believe in that guy. Spencer Rattler, he's all right, but he's somebody that you would not jump for joy for. It's not like how Andrew Luck was in 2001 or how Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields is this year. That you was like, we'll just take a line or we'll just build our roster and then we'll go for it. We'll go for those quarterbacks, in which we as Carolina Panthers fans was hoping that the franchise would have done that, would have just not taken Teddy Bridgewater and just tank for the season to have a legit chance to get in one of these quarterbacks, to be in the top 3 pick. So, and the whole thing about,
Put a little saying, salt in the wound, bro.
I heard somebody say I heard some people talking about, you could take a tackle and you could start them. I don't think there's a sure tackle that can actually start for left tackle. Throughout the draft history, it's probably only been like 3 guys, since 2007 that actually, play left tackle, from.
Thank you, Jay Anderson, for that call. And the reason I want to thank you for that call is J Dub says Wilson. Here, I'm going to feature it. I'm going to put it up. Wilson, Lance, and Jones were not first round picks last year, and now they are.
Yeah, they were. Trey Lance was the first round.
In some ways, it's because neither of them, none of them should have been, right?
Well, Lance last year, if he would have been able to come out, we all knew Trey Lance.
Why would he come out? He is 19 now. What did he come out at 18 and a half?
But no, he didn't. He wasn't able to play this last season because of but
we wouldn't have known.
He only played one game, but we knew who Trey Lance was at this time last year. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think this comment means by J-Dub?
I know what
Wilson,
he's
Lance, and
saying.
Jones is like, well, of course they want, like, so next year we'll all love the next first rounders.
No,
Okay.
he's trying to say, like, people like Zach Wilson and even Joe Burrow last year come up and come out of nowhere, and no one's predicting them before that year starts, and then they come out of nowhere, and then they become.
But isn't Jay Anderson
first
just as right in saying we could take the top left tackles for their, like, over the last 10 years and say in their first year they weren't that good either?
The
all
problem
of
is
these players have bust potential.
Yeah.
All of them.
It's not even a bust potential. It's like if you need them to take you to a Super Bowl in year one, you're going to be disappointed. Especially if you draft a left tackle, A, and B, maybe if you draft a quarterback. That's kind of my point is that it doesn't mean these guys are good or bad or terrible players. But, like, if we drafted a quarterback in, say, Trey Lance, and he wasn't good for 3 years, would that pick, and then all of a sudden we won a Super Bowl in 3 years, would that pick be shit? I don't think so. I don't think it has to only mean that you get better immediately, but you get better as an organization is kind of what I'm trying to get to. If we drafted a left tackle at the 8th pick this year and he sucked next year, I don't want to cut him.
Yeah.
I hope he gets better in year 2. That's my kind of point by this. Is there the value guy and the quarterback guy are so far apart they can't meet in the middle, and it's almost like American politics.
Another shit show.
All right, All right. Next call.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Cody.
Thank you, Chuck, for bringing me back to earth.
And my man.
It's about to fight.
I always forget your name.
My wife made me so mad
today. This is Chuck from Elizabeth City. Greg, I'm sorry. I guess I feel like we've about bottomed out here with a quarterback. I just don't see San Francisco taking Mac Jones. A lot of people are talking about it.
I agree.
I'll fall out of my seat.
If they I am with you, bro.
I feel like they could have gotten him, at a position much later than trading all the way up to 3. I don't see it happening. And maybe they feel like us or someone else was going to take Mac Jones, trade up and get him, and they did what they had to do. I don't even feel like it's Justin Fields. I think they're going after Trey Lance.
I don't disagree with it, but Justin Fields looked good today. He might have brought us back to earth.
So we can get Zach Wilson. I think they're sold on him. They're probably looking at trading Darnold. And that's why I'm thinking Darnold and Minshew are our best bets. And I'm not even saying it's a great bet, if it's even better than Bridgewater. I think that's about the extent of what we can look at, though. Watson, it's kind of a pipe dream now unless something changes. Just want to throw out a couple of people out here, though, folks. If we stay at number 8 or don't trade down, we're probably either looking at a left tackle, which I think it should be our number 1 priority if we stay at 8. Number 2, it should be a corner. Or maybe even a linebacker. I hate to say it, but Micah Parsons, it would not hurt us to have another middle linebacker. And even though we're a little stronger because
Cody taught me out of them.
But I thought these names. If we can get a left tackle, whether it be Slater or Sewell at number 8, in the 2nd or 3rd round, if we can pick
or
up
the first
Cleveland from Georgia or Quinn Meinerz from Wisconsin Whitewater, the combination of that left tackle and that slash guard center will vastly improve our offensive line. I think we definitely got to get a corner in this draft, and I think we can get that between round 2 and 3. And I think we need a safety, and we can get that either round 2 or 3, whichever we don't go with, maybe even 4. A wide receiver, I think we can even get one in the 5th or 6th round. Jalen Darden is a great pick. Anyway, that's all I got to say at this time. Thanks for listening, guys.
Man, Chuck from Elizabeth City. First of all, you my dude, number 1. Number 2, thank you for calling into the show. The number is 252-228-5098. And thanks for being a part of the community we're building. We're on Discord. We're on every podcast platform you can imagine. And guess who gets up in those YouTube comments like I do? That's me. Chuck is bringing up a great point to me. And one of the things that I continue to come back and circle back to is this value guy versus quarterback guy. And if we're sitting there at 8 or 7, pick your poison, 5, 7, who cares? Like, I mean, obviously we're at 8. That's our spot. Trey Lance, which he is projecting to the 49ers, which I agree, is that Trey Lance has so much upside. I can see it. But I really think the 49ers now are eyeballing Justin Fields. That's who I would be. I think it's smoke. They weren't there. That's what I would be doing. But if the Carolina Panthers had the number 8 pick and Cody Lashney is the GM, Trey Lance is on the board, right? He's a project, sort of, correct? Like, would you not classify him as someone as a project?
Yeah, I mean, just from his limited number of snaps, just basically playing one meaningful season of college football, knowing that they didn't ask him to throw the football a ton. It was he did some pro style stuff, but he's definitely going to have an adjustment period. Now, it might not have to be long.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Yeah.
So you have him who has that component to him. But Kyle Pitts, who everybody loves, the toast of the town, we don't know if he's a wide receiver, a tight end. Is there not a similar type adjustment period for him? Trying to figure out who he is and this and that. No, like you can't come and tell me that he's a polished blocker. He's like a polished tight end. We don't know
that's
that.
the thing. I don't really think that he should play tight end.
I agree with that, but that's fine. But if you say that he shouldn't play tight end and he should play receiver and the other person says this or that, he is not the prototypical day one polished starter either. So why does he deserve the 8th pick?
I don't know.
The upside courts the pick is what I'm trying to say. Is that like you're not drafting what he can do just this second, you're drafting what he could be a little bit. And so I think that if that holds you back from a Trey Lance, if that holds you back from somebody like that, it should also hold you back from a Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, and again, it's also positional importance. A tight end is not as important or as valuable as a quarterback.
Then he shouldn't be drafted in the top 10 period then. Also my argument. Next call.
Hey, what's up, C3? This is Mile High Joe from Denver. Good episode today. I got a couple thoughts about what's going on in the draft here. First off, if you can, you gotta move up, trade up, and get something ultimate cuckoo caca pee pee doo doo.
I felt like he just tried to come on me. Like, what does that mean? Cuckoo caca, like he just threw it at me? What did he just say?
Something about caca pee. Whatever, dude. Next.
All right.
Hey, C3. This episode's running wild. I love it. Got a couple thoughts. First of all, what's up, Cody? What's up, Codizzle?
What's going on, man?
What's up, Tony? Lord of Gundor. A lot of thoughts. First of all, if you can, you got to move up. If you can get that second pick, trade up, give what you got to give, pick up Zach, pick up Fields, whatever you can do to get up there. If you can't, stay where you're at. Build up the defense, pick some O-line. I mean, what happened to the Panthers in the 50th Super Bowl? It was all defense that dominated us with the lackluster, immobile 40-year-old Peyton Manning. Tom Brady's in his 40s. He ripped them to shreds. The defense on that Tampa Bay team looked amazing. That's who stopped Patrick Mahomes and all the receivers. Build up that defense in the draft. Build up the O-line. If you can't trade up, pick up Project Kellen Mond. He looked good. He doesn't turn out to be what he can be. What did you have to lose? Nothing. You got Teddy, you got Mond, but we're picking 1, 2, or 3 next year. So get your quarterback then. That's all I got. Take it easy, guys. Later.
Man, we appreciate that call. Let's keep pounding.
Hey, this is Tyler from Roanoke, Virginia. I was listening to the latest episode, and I know Sam Darnold's name was brought up. That is intriguing to me. Just knowing, he was highly regarded coming out, was with the Jets, which is probably one of the worst situations to be in with the offensive system, the head coach, the talent around him. Pulling up the stats for the last 3 years, 13 games started, 13 games started, 12 games started, touchdown, interception, 17 to 15, 19 to 13, 9 and 11. Nothing, stands out. That's, looks kind of like Teddy Bridgewater from that standpoint. Then you go to the sacks, 30 sacks, 33 sacks, 35 sacks. Averages out to 2.3, 2.5, and 2.9 a game. Obviously, he did not have the offensive line, the talent, the play calling around him. Battled some different, illnesses and injuries as well. Obviously, third round pick, whatever, to give up. Not a whole lot as far as giving up, and it could be worth the flyer if we can't get somebody else there in that spot. But keep in mind, Robbie Anderson did play with him for those first 2 seasons there.
And
so
he fucking busted him on a.
What can Robbie Anderson tell us? I'm sure he was catching passes from him. Definitely would have some communication with Robbie Anderson if I was, of course, Matt Rule and Matt Fitterer. But again, just throwing it out there. It's an intriguing option. He's still young. Could have the weapons and the help around him. So it's something I wouldn't be turned away from. Keep doing a good job, guys. Keep pounding.
I love this call right here. I love this call. And the reason I love this call is I want people to ask a single question without contract, right? Without the numbers involved. If you could start a season next year with Sam Darnold versus Teddy Bridgewater, who would you pick? And I understand people who would pick the safe bet of Teddy Bridgewater. It's kind of like betting black versus red on the roulette. They bet black. That's kind of rude. But Darnold is kind of betting like if we were rolling, I guess, not roulette. What's the other game? Craps. So we're playing craps. It's like playing the field. To me, Darnold can sling it, bro, at times. And the question is the system, not the system, the culture been holding him back? And we saw Robbie Anderson just bust off big-ass passes with him. We didn't see that with Teddy. I'm sorry. The only thing that's keeping me from abandoning Teddy is the money. It's not the player. So if you want to talk about, my thing is this, is let the Jets put Zach Wilson at the second pick, and then let's talk about trading for Darnold. Let's give him a fourth. Let's give him a third. And let's do it. Let's try it. Because he has more talent than Bridgewater. I just believe it. And Bridgewater is just basic. That's it. Basic. He's basic.
not hard to have more talent than Teddy.
Don't say that. I mean, but like, all right. I mean, that was kind of mean. That was mean. That was mean. I was just trying to say.
But it's also the truth.
All right, next call.
Was handing Tony. It's your boy QT0. All right,
What's up,
so
QT?
since you need some optimism and you don't know how to fucking think positive, you feel me? Let me hit you with some law of attraction, real ass shit right here. So we needed Teddy Bridgewater to have a legitimate quarterback that was going to be there. Hopefully, have a higher percentage at least of not being injured, because there's never 100% you're not getting injured. But a higher percentage chance of not being injured, having a healthy quarterback all year long. So we could really study our defense, study our offense, and see what we need to upgrade, what we didn't need to upgrade. And the motherfuckers that were good, give them a chance and a fighting chance to be in the game to actually want to compete. Because if we had a trash quarterback, there would be no competition going on. We did
have a trash quarterback.
We wouldn't know who Chin was, because Chin probably wouldn't give a fuck. It'd be like, oh, we tanking. I ain't gonna risk my body. And so would every other good motherfucker.
Sorry, QT. You got bounce for that. I'm bouncing you, homie. Chin's gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna play. I'm a rookie. Is that what he said? Isn't that what he said? He's like, Chin ain't gonna play.
Yeah, I mean,
he said that, right? Am I wrong? Did he say that? I hear. I'll play it one more time. I mean, listen to this. Hold on.
Was
like my dude right here.
Hopefully,
but he said,
have a higher
not gonna play.
Chance of not being injured, having a healthy quarterback all year long. So we could really study our defense, study our offense, and see what we need to upgrade, what we didn't need to upgrade. And the motherfuckers that were good, give them a chance and a fighting chance to be in the game to actually want to compete. Because if we had a trash quarterback, there would be no competition going on that field. We wouldn't know we wouldn't know who Chin was, because Chin probably would have.
Sorry, that's where the bounce comes.
So he's saying is he saying Teddy Bridgewater wasn't?
All right, you listen to it again. You listen to it. I bounced him. I bounced him.
You're not getting injured, but a higher percentage chance of not being injured, having a healthy quarterback all year long. So we could really study our defense, study our offense, and see what we need to upgrade. Let me hit you with some law of attraction, real ass shit right here.
It's not lava.
So we needed Teddy Bridgewater to have a legitimate quarterback that was going to be there. Hopefully, have a higher percentage at least of not being injured, because there's never 100% you're not getting injured. But a higher percentage chance of not being injured, having a healthy quarterback all year long. So we could really study our defense, study our offense, and see what we need to upgrade, what we didn't need to upgrade. And the motherfuckers that were good, give them a chance and a fighting chance to be in the game to actually want to compete. Because if we had a trash quarterback, there would be no competition going on that field. We wouldn't know we wouldn't know who Chin was. Because Chin probably wouldn't give a fuck. It'd be like, oh, we tanking. I ain't gonna risk my body. And so would every other good motherfucker on the team. We needed Teddy Bridgewater to keep us in the games. His problem is he can't close them. Salute. You feel me? If you need any more fucking game, holla back at your boy. QT0 from Cali out.
I mean, I get what he's saying. I mean, the logic the logic that he's trying to throw out is that if Teddy Bridgewater wasn't our quarterback, we wouldn't be in any games. There wouldn't be a final drive. There wouldn't be a reason for the rookies that were out there to actually be playing and putting themselves in a position to show that they're a good player. I can't stress that that's farther from the truth than I could expect, because the reality, these guys are professionals. They're going out and fighting every single time they get out there on the field. I mean, if Chin didn't come out and show that he was as good as he was, he could have just been somebody they decided to bench for, been just a backup secondary, or whatnot.
Totally. And second round pick, dude, he could have been lost in obscurity like Christian. Who's the dude that we're hoping is going to come
Christian
back
Miller.
And be good? Christian, then well done. Way to read my mind. And on top of that, screw that. Is that like, imagine if we would have had, like, what are you trying to say? Is that if we would have had Cam coming back into that end season, they wouldn't have played hard?
Yeah, it's a bad argument, man. Like,
I'm not down with that.
Yeah,
I'm not down with bringing in. And you know what? If you want to bring in Teddy Bridgewater for the culture, that's fine.
And by the way, no one's ever.
I'm ready for
But no
I'm
one.
ready for the culture, bro. But you got to bring him in for $1 million.
But even
like
to his
$2 million.
Even to his point, no one's gonna go out there and be like, "Oh well," because we don't have Teddy Bridgewater, or because we started Will Greer or whoever, that we're tanking. That means I don't want to play hard.
Yeah.
That means I don't want to put my best foot forward and put my best film on tape. Like that.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't happen.
All right, next call. I don't remember which call we were at because I just got mixed up because I was so angry.
Was and Tony.
That was
your
it.
boy.
Oh, he came back for 3. Nah, I want him. Somebody else. God bless.
So I'm not sure if you want me to leave you my information or if you want me to just leave you a recording of what I think, but
no, I feel weird.
Specify that. That'd be cool. My name is Andrew. My phone number is 928. But I do have some questions as far as
it's his fault, not mine.
Our plans are draft wise, as a lot of people are worried that we're not going to get a quarterback or we're going to get the bottom pickings. But what if we go ahead and solidify our line with our first pick, and our second pick, we get our safety, third pick, go from there. And then later this year, when all things play out with Deshaun, we come back to that because he's going to be out of Houston. And if he's out of Houston, then we're going to get
do that,
him
bro.
for less than
You
they're
can't do
asking for.
that.
And we will have already
Look, even Cody ain't even said
line
Deshaun's name
with
in
this
like
year's
a
draft.
million years.
I don't know how you guys are doing this, but either way, thank you for the podcast, and I appreciate listening to you guys and your insight.
Yeah, well, thank you for the call. But look, Cody has already abandoned Deshaun Watson.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Yes, you have, bro. Look, we ain't heard shit about trying to get Deshaun Watson. Nobody would do that in their right mind at this point.
Oh, but just to hear everybody say, 24 is too much for him to have not done anything.
It's toxic, bro. It's just
guilty.
toxic. It's just toxic.
How about this? If he's innocent or guilty, his career in the NFL is not over. Deshaun Watson is going to play.
If he's guilty, it should be over.
Well, there's no guilt. This isn't criminal. So
that's my point.
Guilty, nah.
There's
if
no
he's
criminal
guilty, if he is guilty, let me ask you this: do you think if he is guilty of the accusations that exist, that he should be viewed any worse than a Greg Hardy or Ray Rice?
No,
but the difference in those,
I don't like Greg Hardy or Ray,
those were criminal
or Ray Rice.
Those were criminal. This is even if he is.
This is about to come criminal.
If they,
I just said come.
But it's also
Whoops,
not anywhere
did
near
not
the
mean
same
for that.
level, though. It's
Did
like
not mean for that.
throwing a woman on a bed with a bunch of guns, or just straight up blasting, punching a woman.
So you're trying to tell
in
me
the elevator, like Deshaun?
You're trying to tell me
that.
that? Oh wow, I disagree. I disagree 100. You're trying to tell me.
I'm on Tony's side with this part. Like him forcing himself into another woman's mouth, like that's a big deal. That is a huge in today's society specifically. That is a big problem. But
didn't Ben Roethlisberger rape a woman?
I didn't say him, did I?
So
I didn't say him. Here's the thing: is this? No, is that what I would say is arguably is I do believe this is that where. And maybe this will be taken. I should not say this on the internet. My name is blah, 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 Boney. My name is not. My name is Boney Bun. But the ultimate point that I'm trying to make is that Greg Hardy shit and Ray Brown, like all that was terrible. And Greg Hardy's was, but both of these people were getting messed up together. And they were getting wild, and things do happen where people get like out of their mind, wackadoo, right? And I'm not trying to excuse one person or the other, but in the other case, it's a serial aggressive case. Imagine if Greg Hardy would have serially done what he did. So you're trying to tell him he's out. He can't come back into the league ever again.
But he did come back, though.
But here's the he did.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You're right. He did come back. But here's the part that I'm talking about with regard to if you want to compare Ben Roethlisberger, that is a prime comparison as to why you're right, Cody. Like I agree with Cody in his mindset that if this was criminal and it was proven with no questions asked that he did, then yes, this needs to be, Deshaun Watson can't, for a long time at the very least, be considered a quarterback in the league. But the
you trying to tell me you don't think that criminal charges will be pressed?
No, not at all. Because if
not
you,
but like the people that what I'm saying is that it's civil now. But bro, when we start to hit 18, 19, 20, and you start bringing that to at the very minimum, there will be an investigation by the legal system.
And he'll serve a 6-game suspension.
Yeah,
bro. He's toxic right now. He's toxic. He's weird, bro.
He's a quarterback. I mean, and he's a good quarterback at that.
You trying to tell me now you want him? No, I'm done. I'm done with Watson.
But you just believe in all of it, man. We don't do innocent until proven guilty.
You're right.
Man.
I'm wrong. Only, there's only 24 stories of me trying to jack off on this girl.
So by the way, this has happened while we've been on the podcast. Tony Busby said,
I have only tried to jack off on 2 girls since the podcast.
But dude, he hasn't been to the police department with any of these accusations. And that means he contradicted himself in 2 prior statements. I'm telling you, like 2 things can be.
All right. How about you? You tell me. Homie. You want to be hitching your wagon to the Deshaun Watson? And I don't care if it's for nothing. Like, I'm sorry, do you truly believe it's he's gonna come out of here squeaky clean?
No, he's never going to come out of here.
The first more viable option should have been to try and move up in the draft like the 49ers did.
Well, that's why they did it, homie. That is exactly why they did it, because they saw Deshaun Watson was a weirdo.
Right. But what I'm saying is this. Yeah, we've soured on him. We're probably not going to continue to pursue him. But what I'm telling you is this. Believe me, as I'm sitting here now, Deshaun Watson is not done playing NFL football. He's going to play for someone. So
so you think if this all comes out to be and what if it is 100% true? What if the worst case? So you said he will play football again. And I feel like that's a little brazen and confident. And I'm not trying to say he won't play football, but why do you think? What's the doomsday?
Because the standard has been set. With the
for who? Who's the example?
Roethlisberger raped a woman.
No, he was accused, but that was civil as well. That's where Cody's right.
Okay, but
it was accused, not convicted. And on top of that, what about the other dude? What was the guy that that was putting the date rape drugs, and they took him out of the Hall of Fame?
But it's not the same thing.
It's close.
No, it's not.
It's closer than Roethlisberger.
And telling a girl to grab your junk is not the same as slipping a girl a roofie. It's not the same shit.
It's becoming that in today's society, though. That's
But
the
when
part
you
that you
do
got to
it
keep in mind.
24
And my thing is
times.
this, can I also clarify? Like, if Deshaun did all this shit, I'm not saying that he's like a good guy and that's something that you should do at massage parlors. What I'm saying is
It's
that
not a massage parlor, bro. It's like a professional person. It was like if you were going to get your shoulder work done, and you were like, "Hey, will you rub my dick?"
Dude, it doesn't matter. Other players that have done worse shit than Deshaun Watson are still playing football.
Boo! I disagree with this take.
But Cody, you got to keep in mind.
What Deshaun did is not worse than what Greg Hardy or Ray Rice did.
But here's the thing: let's take that out of the equation.
I disagree with that.
No. Guys, you've got to look at this from a completely different perspective, right? You can use Greg Hardy and use that all you want. If this happened back then, it would be a completely different situation. Today's society, this is unforgivable. Look what happened to Louis C.K. Look what happened to every person that has ever done anything that has made people feel uncomfortable. They have been canceled. Period. The culture that exists now,
and they should be. If you have to do,
he's the equivalent of full-on convicted rape 20 years ago. That's what their justification is right now.
I'm with you. I'm with you, and I'm sorry. You do not get to
play,
and do not get. That's wrong, bro. It is not the same as if two cats are doing a bunch of blow and they get in an argument and they're yelling at each other and slapping at you. That's not the same as you being like, I'm going to go to Target and get milk and jerk off. It's not the same.
I think
I'm sorry.
Is far more egregious than anything Deshaun has been accused of doing.
Say that one more time. Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
Ray Rice punching a woman in the face in the elevator is anywhere comparable to what Deshaun.
What if he did it 24 times though?
Punching a woman one time is inexcusable.
So I can come on 24 faces, but I can only punch one.
Again, we don't know what happened behind closed doors, man. We don't know everything that's happening.
Come on, I'm telling you guys, like this whole you're being so lax on.
It's hypocritical.
It's not hypocritical at all.
Oh yeah,
you have to admit that this mug is like Dexter of massage parlors.
So why do these other whack pieces of shit get to play over him?
Well, I'm not saying that. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they shouldn't.
Didn't Tyreek Hill fucking punch his son and break his arm or some shit? Oh, and those are just accusations that he's playing.
What if? Look, let's compare it. I would argue this is that Greg Hardy and them, both of them were on drugs. Both of them were fucking pissed as fuck.
And it was one-time occurrences from all accounts.
Yeah, it's a little different. Like, you can't just be like, oh, well, this other person. What? Yeah, it justifies this. Is that this dude?
The difference here, Cody, is that one person saying that this happened is easily said this person is lying. 25 people saying it, nobody can say that. If 25 people came out and said Big Ben raped them, then
why do we want him as why do we want him as our quarterback if what he does is go to massage parlors and then just lifts his hips until he comes on his own self in front of
I don't believe
I don't even want him as my quarterback no more. I'm done.
Fucking stories.
I'm done with that.
0 cents.
Look, Jack Brinkley says something.
I'm done with the common sense out the window. Dude, so much of this shit.
All right, for 25 times. You're right. I mean, look, I was trying to hold it back. I was trying not to overly get excited. That was kind of, no one got that. Anyway.
You were premature.
Not trying to get prematurely excited on this, but no, man, come on. It's like starting to get a little.
It just feels fetishy, and it feels like it's becoming more difficult when you have you know how hard it is to make a conspiracy with 5 people, much less 25 people.
Thank you. That's what I've been trying to say, CK. There's no reason to make the conspiracy bigger, bro.
So what happens here? Deshaun never plays again?
I mean, he's not going to be worth the value that he is now.
I think there's a good chance of that. I think there is if this stuff if there is more verification to this stuff, then yeah, I don't think he should. I think this is that if a dude sexually assaulted 25 chicks and another dude in a drunken rage punched one chick in the face, if you're gonna get rid of that one dude that punched in the face, then the other serial rapist should also go.
It's not
so I don't know how you quantify it.
Rape anyone. It's not rape.
If I just walk around and come on bitches' faces, that is
it's assault. It's not rape.
Okay.
But you're right. But look what happened to Kareem Hunt after one person.
Yes, and he barely kicked that girl. I ain't gonna lie, I saw that mess. Was that the one where we watched what was in the hotel room? I watched that. He barely kicked that girl.
But that's my point.
You know what I'm saying?
There was video evidence of that, right? And so that made that one a lot more difficult. And so yes, he had pretty severe, situation that came about it by getting cut from the Chiefs, and then he had an entire year of suspension or whatever it was, and that was one person.
I want nothing to do with Watson for the Carolina Panthers.
I'm not going to be mad if we get
I'm done with them. No, if we're going to cancel everybody else, if we're going to be pissed off to where everybody else is crushed from the league, which I think, and I'm not trying to argue over them either, I don't think we should dismiss this shit that Watson's done, man. I don't think we should minimize it because he went to Clemson. I don't think we should minimize it. I said minimalize it. That's not a word. I don't think we should minimize it because he went to Clemson. I don't think we should
because he went to Clemson. I know the bitches want money too, and they're willing to slander.
No, you don't know shit. No.
But you went there.
You are just hoping. This shit is like serial. No. This is like Dexter Jackoff shit, bro. I'm sorry.
Republicans can fucking pay a bunch of money-hungry bitches to say whatever the fuck they want. I'm not even taking either side.
No,
you don't know that
you crazy, bro. You're crazy. You crazy.
You don't think that this is going to be a scrutinized situation? I mean, if that were to be the case, here's the thing. The reality is that with 25 people, they're not convincing that many people without somebody else saying no and then coming out and saying
it's too complicated. If I wanted to frame you, I work with CK, and that's it. Like no one else can know. And CK and I have to frame you because if anybody else in this chat room, 4, 5, 6 people are involved, it's not going to work. Somebody is going to talk. I'm telling you, man, is that if this is a frame job, homie, it is far too complicated. It is far too complex. And that's the dumbest lawyer I've ever met. I would have just found 2 girls that I found that gave this dude a hand job that I could pay $1 bazillion to that were going to stick to their story.
The damning part about it is
too complicated, man.
And the damning part about it is why are you as a quarterback of who has access to the facilities, massages, and all this stuff? You already have all of this ready available to you. Why are you reaching out to 25, at least at this point, 25 of just random women to give you massages if it isn't fetish related? I mean, would you Do you go to a different massage parlor every time you need one? I mean, I know I wouldn't. I'd go to the same one.
It's so weird. How about this? Just back up.
I am not trying to sit here and prove Deshaun Watson's innocence. What I am
You were ready to say he's not going to be suspended.
No, what I'm saying is that he's going to play again because it's not even gonna go to trial because they're gonna go to mediation.
He shouldn't.
And he's gonna pay all these people whatever they want to make them shut up and go away. Deshaun's gonna serve a suspension. And
I don't want him as my quarterback, bro.
Well, fine.
I do not. I don't care. I don't want that dude.
I bet
if
you
that's the case,
he's gonna play more NFL football.
No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't. What he did is worse than Greg Hardy. Last goal.
Okay.
It's
good
true.
night. I was gonna tell you, we should focus on the quarterbacks because honestly, we have a bright future, offense and defense. We have an explosive wide receivers, explosive young players, Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, Christian McCaffrey. We should get a quarterback because last year the games we lost by 3 points, 7 points. Like with Teddy Bridgewater, we have expectations to go and win this Super Bowl. And our problem, the main piece that we're missing a quarterback, a franchise quarterback.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, gosh, I feel like that's exactly what we've been bemoaning for a moment. I can't wait to hear the responses on the Discord chat to whether or not, you know what, Cody, you are able to tinge the heartstrings of people on Twitter sometimes. I feel like it's time for you to put some polls up. And I'm challenging you to put some polls up about this, Cody. Is like whether or not Watson will play again. Whether, come on. I feel like you are half glass full, dude, on all of this.
No, I think
I'm a little taken aback by it. Not because I want to be liberal crazy on it, but I feel like you are putting the blinders on. If this is anywhere close to being true, I don't think he should play in the NFL anymore.
The reality, if it ends up being true that he has done all of this, then at some point it's probably going to go to something criminal. What I'm saying is that if it doesn't, there's already been a precedent set. I'm not saying Deshaun should get away with anything. I'm saying that too many times in the NFL's history have guys done some terrible, and I mean literally terrible bullshit, and that they get a slap on the wrist, and then they're allowed to come back.
Give me an example. What's a comparative? Give me one example you think is comparative to this.
We already said
Give me one. No, give me one.
Tyreek Hill.
No, it's done.
Like all these other guys that have.
You think what Tyreek Hill did is comparative?
Antonio Brown threw a fucking chair out of a 3-story window and damn near landed on someone's head and almost killed them. But we forgive all kinds of shit. But now it's like Deshaun Watson is done before he even gets his day in court. And that's the thing. He's guilty. It don't fucking matter what he has to say. It doesn't matter what his lawyer has to say. He's guilty forever.
That's a lie.
And the facts don't matter. He's guilty forever.
That's a lie, man.
He's guilty forever.
Then why isn't David Tepper guilty? Why don't we just all come out against any rich motherfucker that's been to a strip club? No, that's not the way it works. Bro, if you are innocent, you walk out and you say, yes, I went to the massage parlor and I didn't ask that girl to rub my, you know what? I went and got blasted this past weekend. My friends, I ran up with some kids from high school. I went to a strip club, and guess what I did? I told my wife, I said, I went to a strip club, and guess what I did? I had to throw money from 7 feet away. Guess what I didn't do? Get fucking sued by my wife. So, nah, There's a point, man. Why isn't every billionaire getting sued then? Why isn't every millionaire getting
making
sued?
like 5 different arguments. I don't even know what you're talking about. What I'm saying is that the precedent has been set. People have done terrible shit in the NFL and gotten away with it and still came to play again.
The problem that I have with the mindset, like I said, I think this is all civil. I think right now the problem is you're in the society that we live in. He has already been convicted, right? Everybody's already got their opinion on him and whatnot.
Right.
The problem that I have, and the reason that I have a like Cody, I agree with that to some degree, but I also know that if this was anybody in the NFL that you didn't like, you would feel the complete opposite way. Like, get him out. You know, if it was a Tom Brady, if it was a Matt Ryan, if it was
nobody isn't. You have to try to make this because I'm a Clemson fan.
No.
I'm defending him.
He's right.
That's what the fucking thing is.
Cody, it's not about
Clemson. As
Clemson.
you make the allegation, it has to be true.
It's not about
you
Clemson.
want him to be innocent, bro.
This is
you
about
want him to
like
be
a lot of
innocent.
Panthers fans are feeling that way. A lot of fan bases are feeling that way.
I don't know him.
Because the reason that people are doing that is because they like him. If people didn't like him, nobody would be defending him. Everybody would be saying, get him out, get him out of the league. He doesn't deserve to be here. But because people have a positive image of what Deshaun Watson is, they're not feeling that way. If this was Cam Newton, damn well the entire league would be saying, get out. We may not. But
by the way, this is a good comment from J-Dub. Didn't Robert Kraft literally get accused of the same bullshit?
No,
not even
close. Not even close.
It wasn't even the same. It was even in the ballpark.
There was
It's a straw man argument. That's a straw man.
Jerked off at a fucking massage parlor in Florida.
But that was something that he paid for, and it wasn't
straw man argument, bro. You cannot say that I caught one person at a No, it's not. It's not even. It's not even close, bro.
Like he's
it's
not being accused of forcing himself on women that didn't like. Like this is his scenario. Is he went and got a happy ending at a massage parlor, right?
What if you went to a strip club and you threw dollars at a girl, right? She's at a strip club. Everybody understands what it is. But what if you then go to just a bar that's a random bar where no one is stripping, and you then trying to get her to strip? It's not the same. It's just like it's completely different. You can't say this is not even close to and on top of that, the one-time incident versus the serial incidents is completely different. No, it's not. And this is where I get pissed. It's like the what if, like, well, this motherfucker did this, and this motherfucker did this, and this.
And they did, and they played.
But I'm gonna tell you this: I don't give a fuck what anybody else did. Nobody else did. But a month ago, I would have traded everything for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm gonna say this: sorry, he might be a great football player. But if we're gonna no, that's not what we're gonna be about. And I'm sorry if you allow that to overall. No, it is so far different than a cat to go into a strip club. It is so, and that's why I bring back the Greg Hardy joint. Is I understand that he did something that society is so pissed off about, but you guys don't understand. Like when everybody gets on drugs, which both of those motherfuckers were on, and going crazy, stuff gets out of hand. It's not like he was doing that every 20 week, like every week. So this is a bit like you can't. This is toxic. You can't touch it, man. Can't touch it. And I'm at the point in this, unless he's fully exonerated,
it's gonna be.
I don't want nothing to do with him. Period. Sorry. Good luck to you. I did. And you know what? Everybody told me before this happened that he was the most upstanding, best ass motherfucker I've ever heard of in the world. And guess what I had to deal with before that? 9 years of people telling me Cam sucked. Guess what Cam didn't do? Cam didn't do none. What's the worst he did? Dress like women's shoes. That's the worst he did. So sorry.
And he's
no, I don't want. Yeah, and that was way before. No, so like, no, I don't even want it. Like, good. I hope I hope he's fully exonerated. But bro, I think there's a good chance he's done in the NFL. Period.
Yeah,
and he
I mean, I hope he's exonerated.
If this comes out to be true,
I
he's out.
I really hope he does. I hope he finds himself fully, like he can prove everything, and I hope he fights the hell back at these people. Right? I do hope it's all true, and I hope it is this massive conspiracy of 25 women trying to get fucked, but the problem is that it's very difficult. Like, again, you can make the argument that, Panthers Buzz FSU is making, that these women are all trying to have a payday. If there were 5 women.
Too many of them. There's too many. It's too
people.
Complicated.
And the fact is, like I said, I have such a very difficult time, like, understanding in what world does he need that many different massages from that many different women, that all are women, by the way, right?
And he goes, this is my favorite. He's like, just focus on my stomach and my inner thighs. Did you read the SI article? Did you read it?
The one that, where the woman came in.
And it was just like, just rub. Like, of course, like he went to a massage therapist where he should have went to a rub and tuck place.
I disagree with Austin GT, man. I think the man deserves his day in court.
All right, we're ready. We're ready for it. But, bro, there is too many witnesses. I can't. You know what? Do you think his day in court is going to be good, Cody? How about that? Do you think it is looking good?
I don't have a fucking.
You got to. No, you got to make an opinion. We're an opinion show, bro.
He deserves to have his day in court. And that's what
that doesn't mean to start for an NFL team either.
If you were innocent and you had all these accusations come out against you, how would your first move be any different than what Deshaun is doing?
I will tell you.
Like, there's no way.
No, I would tell you. I would be on Oprah. I goddamn would tell you this. If this was 100, if I was 100% innocent, I would be on Oprah tomorrow.
But his attorney is probably telling him not to.
No. If he was innocent, his attorney would say, go on Oprah and say this. Fuck this. I'm innocent.
I don't think so. I think his attorney would tell him, don't talk about this outside of the proceedings or anything like that. Because if he said one thing wrong, that could change the narrative.
Fuck my attorney, bro. I would go on Oprah and win this press battle. You're trying to tell me if next week a girl came up here and said in the chat room that you were trying to come on her whatever, that you wouldn't be like, no, bitch, I will be ready to like pull up the transcript and do all this. Sorry, bro. I'm ready to go on Oprah and say these 25 bitches are collusioning. And it's not true. Like, it's too complicated, man. He turned out to not be. Don't meet your heroes, bro. Don't meet your heroes, Cody.
Wait, we'll see.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's again. I think this is all just a matter of, like I said,
it's too much. Not.
It's.
I'm not saying he's guilty, but if I was innocent, I'm ready to fight you, bro.
But that's the thing. Like right now, we don't know. But what we're talking about, I think, Cody, at this point is, if it comes out to be true, I don't see how he continues to play in the league with being a serial.
I agree with them.
A serial assaulter is what you would probably consider it, because it's, at that point in time.
I don't think Roethlisberger is a good synonym analogy, because it was like 20 years ago too.
But what does it matter?
Well, society has changed. Society has changed 100%,
if
bro.
I get a bitch to grab my dick and she doesn't want to do it, it's sexual assault.
We should suspend Ben now. But no, like the point that I'm trying to say is this, is that what CK brought up about Lewis CK and this and that. Society has changed in the last 25 years.
Yeah, no doubt.
You can't apply the same rules today that you applied 25 years ago. And that's my point, is that we're not trying to exonerate Ben Roethlisberger, but we're also at the same point
trying to throw Deshaun in jail before he gets his day in court. Look,
no, we're just saying that right now.
No, not trying to throw him in jail. Just saying this bitch is not going to play football no more. No, that is an exaggeration, homie.
For a third of the fucking
Oh, my God. Bill Cosby. Looking like Bill Cosby. This mug looking like Bill Cosby, homie. We didn't think he was. We didn't think Bill Cosby was going to be. All right. Look at this.
Again, I think this is. I honestly,
we gotta end this show. It's so late.
Yeah.
It's so late. All right. Look, everybody knows that Cody is ready to give. How about this? Who should give? Will you give Deshaun Watson a massage when he comes to Carolina, or should I give a massage to Kyle Shanahan when he drafts Mac Jones?
Dude, I would be Deshaun's personal masseuse, and in order to get that man here, dude, I'm willing to do some things I'm not fucking.
I'm done.
The problem is,
even
Cody, he doesn't want a personal masseuse. He wants one every other weekend. It's different.
Oh,
you would satisfy the itch for a minute.
No, dude, I have different outfits.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Just try to pretend to be somebody else.
Dude,
if the 49ers draft Mac Jones, it will be the most epic draft night show in the C3 Panthers.
Oh,
C3
my God.
Panthers podcast history. All right, so don't forget, folks, we're gonna have the live draft party.
Hey, shout out to Lynn, who's been with us in the chat room through this entire terrible last part of this fucking podcast.
She's dealt with me for so long. Do you know how long Lynn has dealt with me?
Lynn, we love you. We're sorry that we're a bunch of crass old assholes. We love you.
So the good news about Deshaun Watson's serial massage, whatever you call it, is that I was a little worried that the Panthers were going to trade away 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson, and then we would not have anything to do on draft night. Right? I mean, think about it. We watched the first round. What would we do every time the Panthers draft? We'd be like, and remember, 3 years ago, we got Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Right now, this is finally the draft intrigue is still there. We will be here on draft night watching what the Panthers do at 8. Cody will be bitching that they did not trade up. CK will be giving us subscriber shame.
Right.
And I'll just be like probably falling asleep in the back 20 picks. Anyway, it's the C3 Panthers podcast on the last month. Yeah, we got to do that. That's it. We got to ice some mugs up. You got something for me?
I do.
Yes.
I
do. Start us off.
All right. First and foremost, I'm going to ice myself up. Literally, I told Cody before the show started about 3 hours ago, I fell down my steps and I'm in a bit of pain. And so I want to ice up myself because I'm an adult that has fallen downstairs at the age of 30 with no real reason as to why that happened. Other than just being a clumsy old man. Anyway, but other than that, the real ice up that I have is always going to be streaming related. So there is a streamer or at least there was on Facebook Gaming by the name of Brew Gaming, BREW. And if you play video games, specifically Call of Duty, number one, just based on death comes the fact that racism is just rampant, right? And the problem with that is that people are like, you hear death comes, you hear people just straight up throwing out, horrible things. And so this guy was not streaming. He was playing Warzone and he was in the middle of dying. and he just straight up yells that word that nobody wants to be associated with saying, right? That is very offensive to you know our black family members here, and he denied it. He denied it. It got put out there. He wasn't streaming. He just happened to be offline, but he killed the one guy that he killed was a black content creator that happened to be recording it. So he saw, like, they basically were able to blast this out there, and he denied it. He said that his voice was dubbed over, all this stuff. And then he finally came out today, and the ice up I have is, number one, if you're going to be a racist son of a bitch on a platform like that and get caught for doing it and then deny it, when you come out and you finally admit to it, what you did today, he made it everything about him. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull myself out of this hole. I'm in a really dark spot mentally, all this stuff, right? Has zero to do with his actual, like, regretting saying it or feeling like he's going to try to be a better person. Nothing like that. So he basically has lost his partnership. He's lost everything, you know, with regard to his streaming community, because he just turned out to be just one of these other people. Whether he has that actual hate in his life, the fact is he's using words that are associated with that type of power, and that's not okay, especially by today's standards. And he got what he deserves. So I'm going to say ice up, Brew Gaming. Ice up.
All right, good. That, you know what? He deserves it and more. Cody, what you got for us?
Yeah, man. Mine, I already saw some people in the chat room allude to it earlier. And that's our man, Michael Strahan. So
he got his gap fixed, bro.
Michael Strahan
I'm with you, bro.
Had a big gap in his teeth, and he just
it was
put
his
out a
calling
video.
card.
And that's like, okay, so he puts out the video, and it's him. And his teeth are all fixed, no gap in the middle. Looks nice, right? It looks, fine. Looks fine. His body, he can be happy all he wants, but I just imagine, like, man, if I had been in the public light for that long, been on camera for that long, people know me and have seen me that way for that long, like, it's a defining physical trait. It's like when you think of a tooth gap, he's one of the first people that you think of. But he's also like this really happy, jovial guy. He's really bubbly, so it's like, I always felt that it kind of fit him. I don't know. I always thought it looked good with him.
You're right. No, I'm with you 100.
But also,
bro.
I'm normally not the type of person to say, oh, think the kids or whatever. But I think that in today's world, especially talking about our culture, there's this tendency. It's like, if you don't like your body, just fix it. Don't accept yourself for who you are, for how you are, for what you are. Just fix it. Go get surgery. Do you hate your body? Go get bigger tits. Get your jawline enhanced. Like, go do all these things to make you feel better about yourself, instead of just teaching people to love themselves. So I think when a famous person like Michael Strahan is in a position to just, embrace all of his flaws, I think that he should, he should do it. But again, maybe I don't know shit, but I think that he should have kept it. I thought that he looked better with it. So, to Michael Strahan, ice up, son.
Ice up.
I agree with that ice up in some levels, and the other level is that ultimately for Strahan, I think it was a bad business move. Right? Is that just think back in this? Is that I think her name? Who is the girl that was the main chick in Dirty Dancing, and she had this big ass nose, and then she got it fixed, and then no one else ever messed with her in Hollywood. Like, it was something. It made her endearing, and I think the gap made Strahan endearing, right? He's a football player that then becomes like, so I agree with it. I don't know. Is like I just thought it was so him, and maybe I agree. My ice up pick is in my wife, yo. How about that?
Make it happen, bro.
I got big ass balls to ice up my wife right here. So one of the reasons we were kind of late for the show is because we were out having dinner, and I think she kept sneezing in a row. I think it was the sneezes. Like she's like, you get this sneezing fest, like where you get like 2 or 3 or 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, chug your water, and try to get rid of it. And so she tried to do it, and it made it awfully worse, I guess. She was so pissed. So she was like coughing and this and that. And she was like, and it was like, but like, what are you supposed to do? And she goes, you didn't offer me a napkin. You didn't try to like make. I was like, God, I tried to the napkins are all right here, homie. Why is it she was so pissed that she got in this fit, this sneezing, coughing fit? And maybe I did make it worse, but I'm like, me and my daughter here were like just trying to make something happen. It's like when someone has a hiccup, it's just like raise your arms above your head, raise your arms above. But then it got worse, and then she was like, you didn't fix it. And so, you know what? I'm saying this. I'm saying ice up, Miranda, because guess what? I can't fix everything.
Lynn's icing you up. Lynn's icing you up for airing out your wife.
You're a monster, Tony.
She ain't gonna listen to this shit. She ain't gonna listen. Don't worry. First of all, I have a master's degree. I've written 130-page thesis, and guess who has never read it?
Her.
Yeah. I'd be like, it was about jerking off on massage therapists, and she'd be like, "Oh God, that was terrible." Is this show over yet? We gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. I could have run. She would have known about ice up, Miranda.
Oh, all right, this has been crazy, bro.
Dude,
true.
This show is off. This show is off the rails, dude.
This is crazy.
All right. C3 Panthers podcast number 252-228-5098. You can talk to CK and Cody because next week I'll probably be in jail.
I like
My wife baby murdered.
J-Dub's comments is cool. She can ice up and you can sleep on the couch.
Bro, she can ice up. Nah. All right. Guess what, guys? We got some other content that has come out. We've done some film. Well, not we. Cody's done some film reviews. We did a bonus episode on what the trades mean. And Cody, you got some. You're gonna do better. Get to know a Panthers. Cody's film review.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Friday, right?
Yep, perfect. You nailed it. I'm going to do one. So normally I'm going to try and do them at 5:30, but I have a meeting tomorrow at 6, so I'm probably going to try and do it around 4. I'm going to do. It's either going to be Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater, one of those two. But we're going to be talking about 2 of the tackle prospects. And tackle is fun to watch film on because you can see something in every play. It's not like a receiver where sometimes they're just completely out of it. Follow me on Twitter at CodyLac, CodyLac. Brand new Draft Tech mock draft tomorrow on drafttech.com. I write all the comments for the Carolina Panthers. And that's it for me, man. Check me out.
All right, man. Thank you very much for your time and your support. CK, I gotta say, you've been killing it on the stream, bro.
It was me. Thank you for the love. Anyway.
All right, where can they find you, man?
You can find me in Facebook Gaming, Twitter, Instagram, all of the locations and what social media exists. Other than MySpace, I got rid of that shit a long time ago. Anyway,
I'm
guys,
still holding on to mine.
Are
I'm
you?
still
Of
holding
course.
on to MySpace.
Oh man, that's where you get all the bitches.
Yeah.
Oh man, sorry, Len. You didn't deserve to hear that.
He messages massage therapist on his MySpace.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I almost wonder if Deshaun has his MySpace and that's where he was meeting. I would be afraid if I were Deshaun. He'd probably deleted his MySpace. But anyway, yeah, you can find me on all of those, Codizzle Allen. And hey, stop in. Let me know your C3 family.
Please subscribe, subscribe and share. All of that mess. Cody, Lashney, get us out of here. It's time to go to bed. And y'all keep pounding. We'll get some more content very soon.
Keep pounding. Later, everyone.
Keep pounding.